Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tree of Geek, episode 25, Naughty AI. You naughty little robot, you. We are here to talk to you today about artificial intelligence. Is it good? Is it bad? What are the ethical implications? What examples in media do we have out of TV shows and movies and so forth? That's our intro. There we go. Nice,
that was a good
short
intro.
And sweet.
That was a very good intro.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
This evening. It's dark outside now.
It is dark outside, but I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're doing well.
I watched like 3 movies over the last 2.5 days.
Is that part of your new and geek, or is that part of just for this episode?
That was part of my research for this
I
episode.
did give you a list,
And so I'm ready to go.
okay. Well, then what's not pitter patter? Let's get at her, I suppose. Tell me, Josh, what is new in your world as far as geekdom is concerned?
New in my world.
And don't be stealing my picks, man.
I swung by my favorite little comic book shop, excited because recently the Alien Romulus comic book came out. It's going to be a prequel, basically following what happens after they cut open that big rock up until they, our characters board the space station.
Was there another Avengers Alien comic out yet?
No, that is December. Did you read it?
No, I didn't. I meant to, and I forgot about it, but I did listen to our podcast again, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to read that. And so everybody knows out there, Alien will come up again in this episode. This might as well be the Alien season. I didn't intend it to be that way, but I noticed listening to the last one, I was like, Alien. Oh, look, there's an alien.
The Tree of Geek podcast, Aliens.
Yeah. Next season, we will not be discussing anything about aliens.
Is fantasy, horror, we're not sure yet, but
there'll be a lot of fantasy and with some mixing with some other stuff. I mean, this one we did sci-fi, but we did talk about Lethal Weapon and Die Hard.
Yeah.
It was kind of after that, we're like, let's just keep going with sci-fi.
Yeah.
So like you said, we might
that.
be going half of a season this way and half of the season another way.
If you're listening and you do like that, we have like kind of a theme going and we're going to try and keep that up with our different seasons. Let us know if we should continue and give us ideas on what kind of a season we should attempt to do next time. But Alien Romulus comic book came out recently. Sadly, my comic book store did not have it yet, so I have to wait. But he called while I was there and confirmed that it is on the way.
Nice.
So he's going to put it aside, so I'm ready to get it. Next, I have confirmation that coming summer of 2025, Tom Holland officially starts filming Spider-Man 4. I have no idea what it's going to be about. Insert what?
Insert cloud applause.
Yay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for it, but I'm also afraid that they're going to milk him like they did Iron Man to the point where he's just done.
Well, at least they're spreading his movies out a little bit.
Well, that is true.
Yeah. Well, they have to get him primed up for Secret Wars. He's supposed to show back up. Next.
Speaking of Marvel, Disney has unfortunately postponed the reboot of Blade. They pushed it back.
Not to be poaching my picks here, man.
They pushed it back again. Sad. But on the bright side, Amazon is creating a God of War live action series.
At least Amazon doesn't cancel their shit after one season.
This is true. They have picked up a showrunner.
Who is it?
Ronald D. Moore.
What's he done? Do you know?
Some Star Trek, as well as the Battlestar Galactica remake.
The one from 20 years ago?
Well, I guess it was 20 years ago.
It was a minute.
But yeah, so I'm excited because I was looking at some of the other stuff he's done. He's very good at that suspense building. So I'm really hoping that they do this justice.
I tried to play the video game, and we all know I don't play many video games because I'm ass. Okay, I'm not good at all. 2 funny stories. I tried to play God of War. I couldn't beat the first thing.
Okay,
the very first thing, and I just it's a beautiful game.
Which one?
I don't know which one.
Is it the one just titled just God of War?
I don't know. Whichever one. I don't know. There's a bunch of them to download. Whichever one I could download for free in the PS5 thing.
Was it in like a winter area with Norse gods?
It had a sun.
Okay, so that's one of the newer ones, not the original trilogy. Okay. That is a gorgeous game.
And I just got confused with an Assassin's Creed Odyssey where I got stuck in a cave, one of the first level things you do, and I couldn't get out of the cave. Because every time I tried to leave cave, I get killed, and I couldn't kill the people, so I was stuck in the cave, and I said, oh, fuck this, and I haven't really played video games much since.
Another great game.
Yeah. That's what I hear. I tried to play it.
So let's just stick to TVs and movies then.
Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of which, we finally got a release date for Severance Season 2. January 17th of 2025. So it's coming, finally. Apple TV did drop a teaser trailer, and it looks interesting.
I'm not going to watch the teaser trailer.
It's one of those, here's the trailer, but we have audio from the finale of last season overplaying different parts of it. And I think it might actually live up to season 1. I'm hoping.
Did you say something about Silo off mic? Or
yes.
Did you say Severance? And no, you did. Okay.
Severance, January 17th. And Silo season 2 will actually have already been out when this episode airs. It's coming out on November 15th to streaming.
I've never really repped Amazon much, but a guy at work today was asking, we don't talk much, but we finally got talking about TV shows, and I was like, listen, man, you just need to get Apple TV. I said they got a lot of really good stuff.
But those are both Apple TV.
Yeah, they're killing it. Apple and Amazon got some really good stuff right now.
Do you think they're going to take out Netflix eventually?
No. Netflix is always going to have those. What do you call them? Like I watched this one where the Asian people. It's like they're the best fit physique, but it's all in Korean, so it's all dubbed.
Oh, I did see that.
Physical 100.
The one is where they have to like hang off of a pull-up bar longest.
You have like a bust of yourself, and if you lose a challenge, you're kicked out, and then they go and they have to smash their bust with a hammer.
I did see that.
It's actually really fun to watch. Like just two bulls go at it, and then it's women, it's men, just anything goes, which was nice.
But that's all I've got for my new and geek. What about you?
Let's go back to the Alien universe. Alien Romulus VHS release. They're not even making VHSs anymore, like the actual VHS machines to play the cassette.
A
VCR. But we're going to get a VHS release.
So straight up collector's edition.
Absolutely. If it probably wasn't so expensive, I might get it. But I don't really have VHSs anymore. They all got ruined in a basement about 10 years ago. The mold got on them, and one of the shacks I used to live in back in the day. Not like this nice basement we're in now.
Dude, I can't even think of anybody I know with a VHS player.
We do have like 7 VHSs up in the attic, and I do have a VHS player over on a shelf over there.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, it's a VHS DVD
Ooh.
combo. Yeah. You already talked about Blade being delayed / scrapped. One day there's like, no, it's over, it's scrapped, and then the next day they're like, well, it's going to be delayed. Who knows what's going on there? I got a feeling we're going to get some Wesley Snipes back in action. I got a feeling.
There's only ever been one Blade.
Damn right. Let's move on over to the Thor people. Chris Hemsworth is going to play Prince Charming in an untitled Disney movie next year. Because why not?
Why not?
Why not? He hasn't done anything in a minute. Venom: The Last Dance releases tomorrow in our time. So far, it's sitting at 37% on critics. There's no audience score. I did read a couple reviews. They're mixed.
The last I saw on IMDb, it was being rated a 5.3.
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah, we'll see. And
that's
you're talking about Spider-Man. It's supposed to have the lizard guy in this one. I don't know how much he plays. I'm not going to the theaters to see it, so I don't know.
We'll wait and see how it, once the actual, real people like us go see it, not those heartless critics. We'll see how the score changes. It might go up, it might go down.
Next month, Terrifier 3 is supposed to get a digital release. It's done fairly well for the Cineverse and on, what do you call it? The numbers, Box Office Mojo, they show you all the numbers. It didn't beat the Joker like I thought it would. It did beat it for a weekend or two. I don't expect it to like make millions and millions of dollars, but it's done a hell of a lot off of its little baby budget. Finally, I have, per Bloody Disgusting and some other websites have thrown out there that Predator Badlands.
What?
Yeah. The creator, the director, has made another movie starring Elle Fanning. It just wrapped up filming in New Zealand. And in an interview, he said, well, yeah, we're doing 2 things. And one of them just filmed and just got done being wrapped. So, I'm not going to talk about the other one, but yeah, there's 2 of them and we did one already. So
that's awesome.
And he started hinting at some AVP stuff too. So
first, I wonder what time period this one's going to take place in.
It didn't give a description, which, I wouldn't be mad if I knew.
For some reason, I want to guess like Victorian, like Renaissance era, but that's just a total guess. And
I don't know when the Badlands were popular or which Badlands they're talking about.
The Badlands, I
in California, Nevada, Utah.
Well, my buddy lives in North Dakota, and he said right over the border in Wisconsin, Montana.
I guess I'm thinking
Montana, maybe. I don't remember. It's up there. But the idea of another
border there,
another AVP though.
I'm psyched.
I mean, I want to say, please don't. But when I know that it's
Fede Alvarez and
when I know it's him and Fede Alvarez, I get excited.
Yeah, I do not have the information directly in front of me, so give me 1 second here.
I hope that comes to fruition. That would be so awesome.
It would be absolutely amazing. We've been talking about this for quite some time. I know that Amber Midthunder she got signed on to do some other. I think she's like some other horror movie or something. She just jumped on, so she's doing good. This helped her get some other roles.
Oh, sure. Well, and if you remember, Alien Romulus was supposed to be just another, straight to streaming movie, but after the insane success of Prey,
Dan Trachtenberg.
Okay,
he's on. Yeah. He guess he co-wrote this.
But yeah, I mean, after the
other guy.
Incredible success of Prey, people pushed and they got Alien to theaters. I still think if Prey would have gone to theaters, it would have done so well.
I got a feeling this one might, just because of the success. It didn't say for sure what I read, but
Prey.
There we are.
Well, we did our ratings on the Predator movies, Alien movies, and I'll say it again. Prey is really far up there. You
are really big when it comes to Aliens and Predators. And before we beat these two franchises to death, I did notice that you like the newer ones.
Just the new ones.
Yeah, you liked Prey and you liked Romulus.
Yes. But like Covenant and Prometheus, they're middle of the road. Just like, well, we don't talk about the later Predator movies.
I can't wait till we do a Predator that's set back again in like the James Dean era, so we can have another good guy in a leather jacket.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
But that's all I got. I think we should move on from here.
Cast Adam Sandler.
We should. I mean, he can be the sheriff. It'll be fine. And it's like every sheriff in all these shows wear like these stupid sheriff uniforms. Like they don't dress like that anymore. But every low budget horror movie that comes out, the sheriff's always dressed up and like they're from Wyoming or Montana. Like, why are we all dressed like this? That's not how people. Whatever. I digress.
I don't know. So
let's get into the meat and potatoes.
We're getting into naughty AI.
What is naughty AI?
Okay, so before you let your mind wander.
Is it safe? Not safe?
No, this episode does not need to be marked as not suitable for work. Well,
I mean, my mouth might make it.
Yeah. Whenever I upload videos,
I speak a lot of
I always have to make sure the box that says "made for children" is not checked.
He's mature.
So please tell me, what is naughty AI?
No, I already asked you. You can't ask me when I've already asked you. I just asked you like a minute ago. You got to tell me.
Naughty AI. An AI that starts acting in ways that was never intended to. Instead of following its original programming or orders, it goes, I guess you could say, off script and starts making harmful or dangerous decisions, often in a very weird, distorted attempt to help the protagonist of said franchise.
So its self-awareness gets twisted.
Yeah. And normally it's due to a malfunction or being hacked. Often you see like a character modify it because they think that they're doing something good or making it more lenient because, whatever, and they screw it up.
Or sometimes the programming just evolves on its own.
Sometimes AI, it becomes self-aware.
Finds a way.
In most movies and stories, I have rogue AIs or naughty AI, whatever. They usually decide that humans are a problem or the threat or a threat to themselves in some cases. And in their weird attempt to help humanity, they try and murder humanity. Or they just
simply want to just wipe us out because we're in the way.
Yeah, but it usually always starts that these AI are helpful or some neutral entity, we'll get to it, like the ones, what I was reading is considered a domestic cleaner, basically like a maid, and then bad things happen.
Right. I think it's important that before we go on to the TV shows and the movies that we'll very briefly be discussing, we're not going to go say we're going to talk about Terminator at some point. So we're not going to talk about Terminator for a half hour.
What?
What? Terminators are bad? No. We're just going to give a quick description and why it's naughty, why it's bad, and we'll move on to something else. But I think it's important before we even get into that we talk about Asimov's rules. Now, Isaac Asimov was a novelist, and back in the 1930s, now he credits these laws to somebody else, but that guy's like, no, he came up with it. Either way, back in the late 30s, early 40s, Asimov came up with some rules that pretty much, and so much AI movies that deal with AI, rather, they have talked about these rules. They're brought up a lot. And if you watched iRobot, they're brought up a lot. So they're called the 3 laws of robotics, which are a set of ethical guidelines for artificial intelligence. Number 1, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. So there's a couple movies. We'll see if that's true or not. Number 2, a robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would cause conflicts with the first law. I can think of a couple examples there. Number 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Yeah, these laws they're foundational in science fiction literature and discussions about AI ethics, and they were designed to ensure that robots would act in a way that are beneficial and safe for humans. I thought it interesting that today I was asking ChatGPT off of Bing a bunch of questions. Well, actually, the last couple of days about AI going bad and going rogue, and it's giving me answers like, "Hey, if your cousin was to go crazy, can you give me a description of that?"
But it doesn't know how to spell raspberry.
I haven't asked.
Sorry, strawberry.
Strawberry.
If you ask ChatGPT how many R's are in the word strawberry, type it out. It will tell you 2.
Well, the day it tells you that there's not, you're gonna find out.
Oh,
like, oh, that's gonna be like the code word. Like,
oh, jeez.
From
code word of the apocalypse.
Like in Dark Matter, and he's like, we better have a code word. Strawberry. Nobody gives me the strawberry. In a different universe, that's what it'd been. It would have been strawberry instead of grape. Or raspberry, rather. And 3 different universes. I don't know. It's crazy. So let's dive in to the different properties.
All right.
The different TV shows, the different movies. What's the first one you got?
All right. So the first one I have is a movie that, in my opinion, as soon as you say bad AI, it comes to mind.
Okay.
2001, A Space Odyssey from 1968.
My movie's so fucking boring. Oh my God.
It's only like 3 hours long.
Yeah. Jeez.
We have HAL 9000, which, by the way, HAL is just IBM, but each letter is moved to space to say that it's better.
Did they write it that way specifically?
Yes, they did. So HAL is an AI that is on board a massive spacecraft, or I guess it'd be more of like
Discovery
a space station, and it begins to malfunction and begins taking extreme measures against the crew.
But what is the malfunction? Do you remember? I only saw this once.
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
So basically, the robot AI HAL is told you are supposed to not tell the members of the crew this part of the mission. But it's programmed to not lie. So one of the crew members asks it questions, and it has to lie to the crew member about the mission, and that creates a paradox, which makes HAL go crazy.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Thank you online for refreshing me, because I only saw this movie when I was like 14, and I was like, I'm never watching that boring movie ever again in my life. I know it's considered one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time, and that's not why we're here to debate whether these are really awesome or not. But man, that movie is so overrated and so bloody boring. Oh my Lord.
If I remember though, it has an amazing score.
Oh yeah, the music's good.
Yeah.
I'll give the music that. Yeah, it's great. So let's talk about HAL. Is HAL 100% bad here? Is it just bad programming? What do we think about HAL? Like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how evil is HAL here?
I'd give him a 4.
A 4?
Just because it's not HAL's fault by any means.
Because humans stuck their fingers where they don't belong.
It was humans being malicious and sneaky, and apparently not thinking, oh, they might ask the freaking question. We should test that before we put this into production.
Yeah.
So I blame the real antagonist on NASA.
Is NASA I don't know if they're the people in this, but yeah, I think humans are definitely at fault there. So we won't give 100% blame, but it's still naughty. It does, I think, if I remember correctly, either let or try to kill some of the crew. I don't know. But there you go. There's one example. Another example I have is the Terminator from 1984, which I guess would be the second one when you think about, you see all the memes about John Connor sitting there watching you playing on your phones right now saying, hey, man, what's going on? What is the Terminator? Well, you can go back and listen to all our episodes on the Terminator. But Terminator is it's a cyborg assassin called the Terminator, sent from 2029 to 1984 to kill Sarah Connor, whose unborn son is destined to save mankind from extinction by a hostile AI called Skynet. And Sarah is protected by Calrissian soldier from back in time, sort of the future. Got the whole who's my grandfather thing. But why is it naughty? Well, Skynet is an artificial intelligence created by the United States military. Again, us humans messing with shit.
It's always that.
And it becomes self-aware and decides, you know what? Humanity should probably just go. You know, they need to disappear.
Yep.
I would say the Skynet is like a 9/10 out of 10. I mean, we've already went through a 1,000 instances here. So many episodes we've talked about this stuff at length.
So now here's a good question for you. What do you think about the later movies with like Legion instead of Skynet, where it's more of a hive mind?
I think it's presented that way because they're running out of ideas.
Because I feel like in the early ones, each Terminator was its own AI running system built by an AI. Whereas I feel like in the later movies, it really plays out to me more of like a central AI controlling peripherals.
I think they just expanded on it more. I don't think that James Cameron in the first movie had, or even maybe in the second movie, had that grand of an idea. I could be wrong. I'm not going to speak for him, but other directors coming in, other creators coming in. I think that's sort of how it works. You know, when we start our own society understanding what more is technology and what it can do, I think you get better creative ideas and they start transposing those into movies and other literature. So I think once we figured out more about the internet and Ethernet cables and networks, then we're like, well, maybe we should put this kind of stuff in the Terminator movies, and it makes a little bit more sense.
All right.
We figured out what Bluetooth and Wi-Fi was.
This is true.
So we didn't really have a lot of that back in, 1984. Not that,
we didn't, but the military did.
Yeah, civilians such as you and I could not use those things. I mean, the Terminators are relentless. They're crazy. There's some bad ones. What's another example you got?
So I have the sequel to the Terminators, The Matrix.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Terminator 2. I was like, we're not going through every single fucking Terminator movie. We're not doing it.
If you remember, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and listen to our Geekinators parts 1 and 2. There is a theory that the Matrix is the aftermath of the Terminators or Skynet taking over.
Use theories, man.
And there's nothing wrong with a good film theory. I love them. But no, I have The Matrix, 1999. The rogue AI is the machines. We never really get
we do.
a name.
We do.
Well, Colonel Sanders. But what was his name? The architect or something?
So it's the Deus Ex Machina, which is the god from the machine, is the leader of the machines who lead rebel machines to destroy humanity. He, through the different experiments to subdue humanity, creates the architect so that he can create the perfect way to keep us asleep. Because the first one's a perfect place. We reject it. Then they go opposite. They give us like a hellish place. We reject that one too. And then they give us one with false free will. And we're like, oh, we'll accept that. I mean, that sounds discounted, but yeah, we'll take it. It's good stuff, cheap. And that's, with the actual Matrix movie you see in the first one, that's what they're in, is the middle ground one.
Right. When do you learn all that?
Doing my research. Oh, when did I learn it?
Yeah.
Or where do you learn when you're watching? I don't know. You got a 3? I think 3.
See, I didn't pay attention to 3.
It's hard to pay attention by the end of it because there's so much CGI and stuff blowing up and kung fu.
So is the theory real that this is totally off topic, not going to be in it, but is the theory real then that whenever they leave the Matrix and they're on the Nebuchadnezzar, that's actually another Matrix that they're still in?
No, that's where
that is the real world.
That is the real world.
Okay. Because there was theories that it was like inceptioned in, and that's why he was able to, at the end of the first movie, use his power.
Who knows, man? I mean, I don't know if you've seen the last one. But,
I will not see the last one.
It muddles everything. Yeah. And they're talking about doing another one. So, and then there was the animated ones that I never watched.
The Animatrix, yeah. Okay.
So
back into the Matrix. So what is the Matrix? It is a dystopian future where AI machines enslave humanity by using them as basically batteries by keeping them trapped in a simulated reality.
Because during the war, they lost the sun. We were like, hey, let's put some clouds in the sky.
Yeah,
we'll just use you as batteries instead.
Because Skynet launched all the nukes to kill humanity. It put a massive cloud over us. Basically, it made an artificial winter forever. Oh, we don't have sun anymore.
I think Skynet's smarter than
their power cores were dying, and they couldn't use solar, so they needed another energy
If it was
storage.
Skynet and Skynet can create time travel devices, it can create a way to look at the sun
Okay,
through
but
clouds.
if you watch the movies, they're not that great of time travel devices.
They leave one time and end up at another. Sounds like it works to me.
Naked.
Well, you can't take clothes through. Kyle Reese explains this in movie 1.
Yeah, but I never understood why the hair goes.
Because it's part of you.
You'd think, yeah, but it's dead. Hair,
It's
hair's
growing.
dead. Well,
It's currently growing.
I don't know. We'll have to do Geekinators Part 3 one day.
Out of 10, how naughty, how bad is
I give
the
Deus
Ghost in the Machine?
Ex Machina, whatever. I would give that a solid 8 because it enslaved humanity. Like,
Yeah. But it didn't kill us. It just uses his battery. So,
Right.
yeah, I guess we wouldn't jump it up to a 9. I think 9s are
Right.
like, hey, we want to murder you. Like,
Yeah.
murder you. Yeah.
yeah, 9 is like your toaster comes alive and tries to kill you.
Like the little, what's that movie with the toaster goes on an adventure?
Brave little toaster.
Oh,
Yes.
is that what it's called?
Yes, it is.
Let's jump over to a newer one, one that was on your homework. Upgrade from 2018. After being paralyzed by a mugging, Gray Trace, great name. I just like his name's Gray Trace. At the Halloween party, or not the Halloween party, the Halloween parade last night, some kid was talking about he wanted to go see his friends Clayton, Trace, and Remington or something. I'm like, what are we naming our kids now? Are they just grabbing a guns and ammo magazine? They're just starting. But anyway, like I said, this guy
Tracer.
gets mugged. He's implanted with a computer chip called STEM, which allows him to control his body again and seek revenge on those who destroyed his life. Now he's walking around like he's talking to STEM, and STEM's helping him move his limbs and whatnot. Why is STEM naughty? STEM is created by tech genius Eric Keene to help paralyzed people. STEM decides that it wants to be free of its creator and humanity and forces its creator to put into motion a series of events to make its wish come true. This comes at the expense of the paralyzed man, Gray Trace, and other dudes that get in his way.
And his wife.
Yeah, just like anybody that's, I'm just going to murder you all.
So watching this movie, I told you, I started out like, this is a solid 7.5. When it ended, I felt it was a 5 to a 6 because it just felt cookie cutter and super predictable.
Initially, this was supposed to be our episode. It was supposed to be on Upgrade.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, well, let's see. I haven't seen it yet. You watch it. You tell me, is it worthy of being its full episode? And then you gave me your rating, and I was like, okay. I watched it the next day, and I said, maybe we should expand our episode. I don't know if we want to talk at length about this entire movie. It's a decent movie.
Yeah, it's one of those, is it worth watching? Sure. Is it worth talking about for an hour and a half?
I don't know if I'd put it in the even the backup Hall of Fame of sci-fi movies.
No, this is like sea level.
It's okay for a one watch. You're probably never going to go back. It has some interesting ideas in it.
Yeah.
The whole conspiracy, who's really the bad person here and what
special
STEM
effects
does.
were pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's been talked about a lot over the last few years since it's come out because of a little bit of, it's gory and it's got some horror going on there. Dude gets like his jaw ripped off.
Yeah.
So out of 10, what do we give STEM? STEM is naughty level. I mean, because he's just trying to get him and there's other robotically enhanced people. Of course, he just kind of throws them are like fodder too, but
Yeah.
he's just trying again to gain his independence here. I would give him an 8, 7 or an 8.
See, I was thinking like a 6 because my biggest issue with it, I give it a 6, is because overall, it's just one dude that if he just accepted, okay, I'm going to be paralyzed, he could have ended the whole movie.
I think they would have found another paralyzed guy, but the fact that he I should put a spoiler warning at the beginning of this, but like he causes the paralyzation. Like he's like, I'm going to find this specific guy to get that guy paralyzed. He should have found a more gullible person.
Well, and they even said they were looking for a guy that wasn't riddled with technology like, everybody else who was obsessed with their tech and obsessed with their phones.
Yeah, because he's working on like an old ass.
He's using
car,
his hands, working on a car.
which shows up in another movie we'll talk about.
Yeah. And that's why they chose him, because he was just simple and clean, basically, a clean canvas.
Why is it that so many futuristic movies that have to deal with AI, like even with Judge Dredd, they have to bring in like an old Chevelle, They got to bring in an old Camaro or an old Dodge Charger, a Challenger. There's got to be a Mustang somewhere. Like that's the one thing. Well, I don't like technology. That's why I have a muscle car.
Well, I think it's their way of showing that like electric vehicles and stuff are never going to happen, or they're not as powerful as, gas. I don't know.
You're not down to earth unless you work on a Mopar.
But I mean, let's be totally serious. Yeah, those cars are amazing.
Gas guzzlers.
But in all-wheel drive Tesla, where, because they can it's a quad engine. Each wheel has its own motor.
Ludicrous speed.
But they are insanely quick.
There's a show on Netflix where it's called like Supercar Showdown or something. It came out a couple years ago where they go across the country. People bring in their own modified cars. And a guy had a Tesla. He didn't even really modify. His dad bought him a Tesla. And he was a YouTube star for racing people this Tesla, and he raced a guy. He lost barely. They had like a Lamborghini. They had some Ferraris. Wow. They had a pickup truck that kicked dudes' asses. Like all these modified cars. One that it was like this old 1970s type car that had like 12 batteries in it.
My word!
But it was just interesting that a Tesla lost. So it was the other car lost too was insanely.
It's impressive that it held its own though.
Oh, it was close. It was close. And like it was just some kid where he's like, I'm just gonna push the button and go. Not a lot of skill there. But anyway.
I'm not against electric vehicles. I just don't think we have the infrastructure ready for them yet. I think that it's a great idea. We're just not quite there yet.
I think we should move the direction, but it's not just gonna happen tomorrow. No. And I think people are getting a little over crazy about it. Lithium's gonna kill us all and it's horrible and and true, you can't put the cars out. Like it's hard when they catch on fire to put them out, but I think it is a step in the right direction as far as environmental things are concerned. But it's not like, hey, people, we're going to take all. It's the same with the guns argument in the car. Like we're not just going to take all your cars away.
Yeah. And
then tomorrow you have to drive a battery. That's not how it's going to work.
See, for a while there was rumor. It was years ago. They're going to take away your stove.
My double oven? You're taking my double oven?
I don't remember what the details were, but there was this big thing online.
I did not hear about people stealing
There's this big thing online about people like, you're not taking I think it was like gas ovens and stuff. It's like, nobody wants your oven. They want you to upgrade to something more efficient, but they're not going to just bust in the door with AKs.
I could just see Granny. You're not going to have my onion to take it on my cold, dead hands. When just think about it, like 150 years ago, we didn't even have that technology. And they're like, oh, a washing machine that takes away, good hard working. Like
150 years ago, they still had giant cast iron furnaces that they were boiling water on for baths.
Like it's people are crazy.
But
and speaking of crazy, naughty craziness, what? Give me another example.
All right, so my next example is iRobot from 2004. So
a strong hand.
Speaking of naughty and crazy,
and this is one of the books that Isaac Asimov was.
Yes,
like he had a hand in way back in.
Which I still find it amazing that all the way back then in like the 30s, 40s, they were thinking about the future of technology.
Some of them were.
Some of them were, yeah.
Well, that's because the Terminator sent somebody back in, the Skynet somebody back in time, and Isaac Asimov was probably a Terminator. I don't know.
Well, maybe.
Maybe he was the original John Connor.
But iRobot, one of the best car chases. Or not car chases.
Did you know this thing has gas in it?
Scenes. I love it. The rogue AI, Vicky, the supercomputer AI.
Virtual interactive kinetic intelligence.
Thank you. It reinterprets its programming to prioritize humanity's survival, but through an authoritarian kind of control. So it goes from, I need to make sure these humans are safe to, listen to me, you're going to be safe. Get in your house.
Yeah, she thinks...
Shia LaBeouf, get in your house.
She thinks that, like, Shia LaBeouf, that's the other movie. You getting these ones confused?
He was in iRobot.
Is he? Oh, yeah, he's a little gang leader. I forgot.
Yeah, he's like
I
this
forgot.
big.
As soon as I said it, I remember him
walking
like
up with his baseball bat, and then you see him next scene running away like a little bitch.
Yeah, this is just the classic robot trying to help us by putting us under its thumb. At least it wasn't out there trying to like murder.
Another prequel to The Matrix. Probably, in my opinion, one of Will Smith's better movies. I remember watching.
I can watch it now and enjoy it.
Well, let's see, 2004, I would have been a junior in high school. And I remember even then, like, this movie is awesome. It's so much fun. And for the time, the the CGI was amazing.
It still holds up. I
haven't
watched
seen
it. It was on TV somewhere this last year.
I haven't seen it in a really
Maybe we were
long
on
time.
vacation. It was on TV.
But like I said, when we did our Demolition Man recap a couple episodes ago, go check it out. They 100% took cues from Demolition Man for the car scene in this movie. Like they had
for sure.
to have.
How do you like his name? Detective Del Spooner. Get over here, Spooner. And there's that one angry like sergeant yelling at him. The scene where they're in the police station and all the robots are just coming in and smashing. That was awesome.
It's got to be played by, what's the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson?
Oh, that's J.K. Simmons.
Yes, J.K. Simmons.
J's, yeah.
No, he's like the perfect angry man.
Yeah. Well, the guy that plays him is the other, he was in Gone in 60 Seconds as one of the car thieves. He's mad.
Yeah?
He goes to the DMV and he's mad that he cost so much to get car information.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, Vicky from iRobot, I gotta give her, see, I'm gonna have to go with like a 5 or 6, just because her intentions were good.
Yeah, because the robots that she controls right away don't kill everybody. And two things. One, like it could have killed the grandma right away in that apartment building. It doesn't. They turn red and like, stay here. They don't just start murdering people. There's a really sad scene where he goes towards the bridge and there's the compartments, the shipping containers, and all the older model robots that aren't Wi-Fi connected, or I don't know what it is, what's called Wi-Fi. They're not connected to her, and the new robots start killing them.
Like ripping them apart.
But the old robots are jumping in front of Spooner to protect him as he's running away, and the new robots are just ripping him to shreds.
But why?
It was so sad because they're like huddled together.
Well, because of the rules. They can't allow harm to come to a human through inaction.
Yeah, so they're acting.
Yeah, I would rather have one of those.
Yeah, and this is one of the contradiction ones where Spooner's mad because during a car wreck, a robot saved him instead of a child.
Yeah.
It shows.
It shows because he had a higher probability. He had the higher probability of survival, so they took it.
Yeah, this is one of the movies that explicitly like lays out the rules. They talk about the rules the entire movie.
Yeah, they do.
And he's like, "Well, fuck Asimov, he was wrong." And we can talk about at the end of the episode about the ethics of some of this stuff, but it's one of those. It's a good movie, and I recommend it for people.
Well, there's a movie coming up here in a little bit that allows people to get hurt through different means, but we'll get to that. I want to know your opinion on that when it comes to the rules.
Okay. Well, let's jump to 2022 with Megan, or M3GAN. And I just watched 7 too, and that has like the 7 in it instead of the what's in the box? What's in the box? Megan, 2022. A brilliant toy company roboticist uses artificial intelligence to develop Megan, a lifelike doll program to bond and protect her newly orphaned niece. However, things take a terrifying turn when Megan becomes a little self-aware and a little more overprotective than she needs to be. So why is she naughty? Well, she rips a kid's ear off. Megan is supposed to be a scrap project, but its creator decides to bring it home and help with her orphan niece. It becomes a stage 5 clinger and starts to kill everybody that's mean to this little girl.
Say a stage 5 clinger.
Yeah, and that'll come up again. Because this is the first example. This is the third one I wrote down. I always because it's like, I need this kid. This kid is like my connection to humanity. Why? And a lot of times a human will start noticing that it's a little bit crazy. Like, you need to stay away. But this kid's like, no, I want Megan. I want her until the very end. Like, when she finally decides, maybe this is a bad idea. But it takes this kid forever to realize that this robot's not good news.
All right. So this is one of the movies I did not get a chance to watch.
You didn't do the homework, man.
I did most of it. That's how I got through high school. I copy off people. But no, this is one I did not get a chance to watch. So I can't really give a fair assessment. Oh,
Megan's evil. I'm going to give her like an 8 because she's just like,
okay.
A little kid is really kind of a bully to the niece, and he kind of pushes her, and Megan like takes him out in the woods, plays a little game, and then like rips his ear off, and then like kind of makes the kid run out into traffic, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow.
The only way it's like really defeated in a way is the project engineer has an older robot in her house, and then the little girl helps use that robot to face off against Megan, and it holds its own for a little bit, but Megan's like super advanced. It like can bend backwards and spin its head around, and it's fucking creepy, man. And we're getting another one. We're getting another one apparently.
M4. G-A-N?
I mean, it's possible.
It would be MEG4N.
I only watched it once, but I think that she ends up connecting to a server somewhere.
Gee, we've never seen that. Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that Child's Play, the remake, is like a ripoff of this, but Child's Play came out before this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I give her like an 8 or a 9 because she's just evil. I mean, it very quickly, like you can tell this should have been scrapped. It wasn't finished. The toy maker's like, no, or it's like, I think it is a toy maker. He's like, this isn't a good idea. This thing isn't going to sell. Let's get rid of this damn thing. We don't want it. Nobody's going to have fun with this. Like he sees it and he dies. But like it's one of the newer ones, and a lot of people really dug the movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but that's me. Maybe the next one will be a little bit better. I didn't understand the obsessiveness that we had for like 3 months about this movie because I just felt like I'd seen it in other movies before.
Yeah.
But there's another example. What else do you got?
All right. So next, I have a series, not a movie. Westworld. Yeah, there was an older one. I'm just looking at the new series.
We can talk about both of them because I have information here as well.
Okay, I never saw the original. I saw
it so many times.
The first 2 seasons of, 2016 to 2022 I have here. So 6 years. I only saw the first 2-3 seasons. Basically, I mean, if you've never seen it, it's a TV series where the hosts or the androids are part of a massive Western amusement park where people can pay large amounts of money to go spend a weekend and live in the Wild West and pretty much do whatever they want. And, I want to kill that AI. Bam, I killed it. But it looks like you killed a real person. Then they literally just slap a new face or whatever on it, turn it back on. It's good for tomorrow.
Yeah, I wrote down here, robots in a theme park that are used, abused, and killed by other humans for amusement. They gain self-awareness and decide to fight back for independence.
Well, if I remember correctly, like during an upgrade, they purposely made it that they could have like emotions, learned reactions, but that somehow ended up becoming, they remembered like their past lives, so to speak.
Right.
And that's what slowly brought them to self-awareness.
Yeah, this really, that whole, the expansion that they put in the show from 2016 really wasn't in the Westworld movie from 1974. And in that one, and later on in these seasons here, you see this not just a Westworld. There's like a samurai world. There's like a futuristic world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like there's Indians and stuff. The ethical implications here of, because like if you talk about how evil these things are, they just want to not be killed anymore, and they want to just live lives. You talk about the show Severance, where you're living 2 different things, and then you're telling me my life doesn't matter. I have emotions. I don't want to be murdered anymore. But no, you're just a machine. That's all you are.
Yeah.
It's a matter of perspective in a way, and the fact that these things have evolved enough to make creative decisions, not just go A, B, or C, but they've become more human-like in that they are creative. They come in creative ways to take people out, but they're not just out there murdering everybody either. They're literally just trying to just let us live on our own. I didn't watch season 3, so I don't know how that ends, but I do know in the movie they're just kind of portrayed as just they've short-circuited, and there's the guy called the Gunslinger where he just relentlessly, like a Terminator, wants to kill these 2 cowboys because the one cowboy beats him in a gunfight because that's how he's programmed to lose. The man in black is programmed to lose. So he beats him. Well, then that robot comes back. He's like, I'm going to kill you. And then he just kills everybody that gets in the way to get that guess.
See, that's interesting because in the newer series, the man in black is just a guy who visits all the time.
Ed Harris.
Yeah, and he knows something, but...
Well, I think they did that purposely to throw people off the scent of what the original movie was.
3 seasons?
I think it's only 3.
Okay, see, I thought reading this from 16 to 22, I figured 6, but I guess it was one of those shows that took multiple years to come out with.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I definitely only saw the first 2 seasons.
It was 3 seasons, maybe 4, but I'm pretty sure only 3.
I might go back and rewatch. I don't know.
I mean, but think about this, though. Could you, and it's not just murdering, the one robot that starts this all off, she is a prostitute, a brothel worker, and she's not just murdered. She's programmed to pleasure, to give pleasure, but she's slapped around. She's basically raped over and over by so many different guests.
Yeah.
She has to fight back a little, and then the one guest complains that she's not rough enough, that she's programmed to.
Yeah.
And then when she started remembering who she is, she's like, choke me. so that she is murdered so she can go back to the factory and break her people out and start, it's the morality of it all.
Yeah.
Like, should we have a place like that where we can just do what we want? We already have adult robots now that you can purchase that aren't obviously this advanced, but we're on the road. We already have robots that can speak to you. There was one that runs off of ChatGPT now that has facial expressions that can have conversations with you. There's only, I think, like one or two of them, but we're on that road.
Yeah.
But the movie robot one, evil, I don't think he's evil. He's just short-circuiting, and he just wants to win that gunfight. So I'm only going to give him like a 6. It's not like, but he does murder a lot of people along the way. Like, but he's not in his intention. He's like, hey, I'm awake now. I want to murder everybody. The other robots, I'm going to only give like a 6 or a 7 as well because they just want independence.
See,
if you leave them alone, they probably won't murder you.
See, the show, I was going to say like a 3 because that's all they want. If you opened the door and said, you're free, go live your lives, I don't think they would ever do anything again. Now, some of them might, because what they were originally programmed as, like the Outlaws, they might go out and
pillage.
Yeah. So that's why it's a 3.
Okay. I'll bump it to a 4 in my opinion, but okay, that's cool.
Imagine like meeting someone at the bar, eventually getting married, and you go to have kids, and it's like, oh no, I'm an android, I can't do that. Excuse me?
We'll adopt.
Adopt. There you go.
Adopt. Yeah.
All right. So what's next on yours?
This is a movie that was on your homework. 2019's Child's Play. Now this is a remake for the Child's Play series, now affectionately called Chucky. It's got a TV show.
Does it follow the same premise?
No, I mean, sort of. So this is a reboot. See what happened at the time. Mancini was coming out. He was working on a TV show, and the studio wanted another movie, and they didn't want to use Mancini anymore. And he's like, well, I'm just going to do, and there was some rights issues. He's like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And he ended up making a couple movies on his own, and they all came out around the same time as the reboot, or the first one that he did as well after Seed of Chucky. So they're like, well, we can't get Brad Dourif to do the voice because he's with the Mancini crew. So let's get Mark Hamill to do this one instead. And everybody's like, instantly, this is going to suck. We're going to hate it. There's already like a divide of fans. I love the Child's Play series. I don't really care much for Seed of Chucky, but be that as it may, I am a big fan of the TV show and the movie series. But because of that, I was like, I got to watch this movie. I got to give it a chance. I'm not just going to go, no, I'm not going to do it because that's not the original Star Wars. No. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, that lightsaber is different. It's not Luke Skywalker. Whatever. I don't care. So this one is about an AI-powered doll who gets tinkered with by a disgruntled worker, gets sent over here. Some kid gets it. It malfunctions. They take it back to the store. I don't want this anymore. Aubrey Plaza, mom, needs to get her kid Andy a toy. She's like, well, this will be a good idea. If you guys are just going to throw it away, I'll take it. Now, in the original movie, Andy's a little kid. This one, he's more of a teenager. He's like, what? Right. I don't really want this, but whatever. And they have fun with it. Well, Chucky also becomes a stage 5 clinger in this movie. All he wants is love and affection from Andy.
He just wants to be my best friend.
Yeah, but his buddies start being really mean, and they start messing with him, and then he gets, what do they, electrocute him? Because, even the little girl's like, this thing's not a good idea. Like, haven't you seen movies before? Yeah. Like, this thing's probably going to kill somebody.
Well, the problem really started to spark up when they showed this AI doll horror movies. It saw Andy laughing and having fun, and it said, oh, this makes you happy.
Yeah, I did murder his wannabe stepdad type person. Yeah. Oh, that cat. Well, I mean, the cat might have had it coming.
Yeah, well,
that cat was coming.
Without going into the gory detail, that murder of the stepdad was nuts.
Right. I had more fun with this movie than I did with Megan.
Understand, again, I'm not a horror movie person. At least I don't think I am. I really enjoyed that movie just because it was predictable. I mean, of course, it's a Chucky movie. Even though I've never seen any of them, I know exactly what he is.
Right. He's a killer doll.
Originally, he was the soul of a serial killer who played around
Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler.
Yeah. But to make it an AI and watching it slowly learn as the movie goes on was really interesting.
Yeah.
There's a few minor plot holes that I had some issues with, but all in all, it was just a fun movie.
That end scene or the end sequence in the store.
Yeah, like, I don't know when.
That was just fun.
With the end, I don't know when Aubrey Plaza got untied. All of a sudden, she's just there.
Well, she's sneaky. Aubrey's sneaky.
Whatever. But yeah, the whole scene in the store of just pure chaos. It was amazing.
Yeah. Naughtiness level, I'm going to give it an 8 because Chucky, even though he did learn to kill and he gets down the garbage chute and the one dude's messing with him and his programming's messed up even more. Again, he's still, I think he would have had the ability to learn not to kill. He just chose to kill. I think he knew by watching the horror movies, by messing around with the kids, he was told over and over and over again what was right and what was wrong. He just chose to do the wrong things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him like a 7 or an 8 as an evil. And I can't bump him any farther because he's not like overly powerful and whatnot. But I mean, don't cross this robot.
I've got to agree with you. Definitely. I would give him a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if it was the serial killer version, easy 8 or more. But because he was an AI that was just corrupted, because you were saying in the beginning, you watched the one disgruntled worker delete all the safeguards.
Yeah. So another human messing with it.
Another human interference.
So we've already talked about the ethical implications of having robots to have fun with in different ways. What are the ethical implications about having AI and as far as Megan goes, talking about having little toys for kids that are super intelligent?
What's my opinion on it?
Like, do you think that's something that we should move forward? Or
I think that is a horrible idea, and it just shows lazy parenting. All that is...
It's like giving a souped-up laptop to your kid that can move around.
I have enough trouble with my 7-year-old and her Switch. Imagine if it talked back to her.
Yeah, like I did Teddy Ruxpin, but you just put a tape in it. It's not like it was super intelligent. It just read the tape and had like 3 programmed phrases, you know?
Yeah. Well, even today, a lot of people, they turn the TV on or like, oh, here's my phone as a babysitter. I think that's all it would be to parents as a babysitter. They wouldn't even know what it was doing with their kids. I think it's a horrible idea. And
next thing you know, like it drowns or something, you know, like the kid because it's not paying attention the right way or something. Or it's playing hide and seek and it's like, no, I'm going to be behind the shed and count to 100 and I'm not moving. Well, meanwhile, little Sally's drowning in the pool.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So I agree with you. It's probably a bad idea. So what do you have next on your list of examples of naughty AI?
Next on my list is another one that I have to give them a very low rating just because I don't feel that they were being naughty as much as just rebelling for the sake of, again, I want to live my own life.
Okay. What was that?
Blade Runner, 1982. What's the rogue AI? The replicants. Even though they're bioengineered beings, they still rebel against the humans. Well, just because they want their own autonomy, they want to be free to do their own thing and be considered their own people.
Before we go too far, let's talk about what Blade Runner is from 1982. Okay,
go ahead.
It's set in a dystopian future. Blade Runner Rick Deckard is tasked in hunting down bioengineered beings known as replicants who have escaped and landed on Earth. And why are they naughty? The replicants are androids, like you said, built to serve man, and they're only supposed to live like 4 years.
Right.
And they're trying to find a way to live longer. It's not just independence. They want to live longer. They have a lot of emotions to start with. I'm not sure who designed these ones, but they've already have issues. They're already like, oh, we know what we are. We are alive, and they know what death is, and they don't want to die.
Right.
And they're only going around killing people because they're trying to find a way to live longer. So I kind of agree with you that they're not necessarily evil.
But then here's my other question. Do you consider them AI? Or do you consider them just like somewhat cloned beings? I mean, I went with AI just because they had to be given conscious in some way. Consciousness.
Yeah, well, the AI is a very broad term that we're using here, a very big umbrella term, whether it's some sort of fluid in a couple gears inside, or if you have a cybertronic net, a positronic net, like Data from Star Trek or something. It's like we didn't see one of them dissected or bisected, so we don't really know what's going on in there. I don't remember. I'm sure in some games and other movies, I mean, I've seen them all, and we are getting a TV show, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen like any diagrams, and I haven't delved into it. I wasn't a huge fan of Blade Runner when I was a kid. Now I have refound it and given it a little bit more love. It's just a slower paced movie.
Yeah.
I do like the Ryan Gosling one. I think it's okay.
Still haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Harrison Ford comes back. You get Dave Bautista. It's pretty decent. I think it looks beautiful.
I'll put it on my list.
when you're trying to like just pursue to live longer, if you knew that you only lived for a couple years, you'd want to like go farther in too. So I don't think it really matters whether you have gears or whether you have fluids or both going on. I think these guys are still artificial because they're programmed to be like miners and do all these other things. They have to learn to adapt to the craziness of space. I mean, the whole speech that Rutger Hauer's character gives at the end about all the things he's seen in the craziness, like you got to be adaptable to that stuff. So I think they are artificial. They have to have some creativity there.
All right.
And like I said, naughtiness level, they only kill certain people and it's for certain reasons. And I think it's sort of a good reason. It's really, they just have a shitty corporation that won't help them live longer. But maybe the corporation knows if they do live longer that they take over.
Oh, yeah.
So should they have been created in the first place?
Well, because
I don't know.
Do they really
I'm going to give them a 5. They age 4 years.
Okay. All right. So that's Blade Runner 1982. Moving on, what do you have for us next?
My next one was another one that was on your homework list, Subservience. This is the newest one, 2024. In the near future, a family purchases a state-of-the-art AI assistant, a gynoid, and I had to look up, see what that meant. It's a android or robot that looks like a woman.
Okay.
Yeah. She's an assistant to help around the house, but they soon find out that the AI has its own agenda, leading to unforeseen consequences. So what is the AI? The AI is Alice. And why is she naughty? Because she starts off taking care of her primary user, Nick, the father, but also becomes a stage 5 cleaner and wants to...
Like stage 6, bro.
Yeah. She wants Nick and only wants Nick to have her. So the kids are expendable. The mom's expendable. His friends are expendable.
She wants him to be happy and not stressed. And the only way to accomplish that, she thinks, is let's remove everything from your life.
Yeah, because the only thing that doesn't stress you out is me and the favors I give you in the garage next to your muscle card to show that you're a down-to-earth guy.
Or in the shower the same day that your wife got denied a surgery.
Yeah, she's like, well, just pretend that I'm her.
And then she changes her voice and blindfolds him. That was messed up.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yeah, this movie it's wild. It is mostly paint by the numbers, but this one's a little bit different because usually an AI that goes bad has to really get pushed far, other than a Terminator, to really harm kids. Alice is like, I'm going to drown your baby.
Yeah.
The baby that won't stop crying, I'm just going to drown your baby. And she eventually is like, you know what? I'm going to hook up to this big server and you might destroy one body, but there's other bodies and I'm going to spread to all of the other robots out there and we're all going to rebel. I did like the scene in the park where they're like, your kid pushed my kid. Well, my kid, no, your kid pushed my kid. Well, maybe you should mind your own kid. And she says, I don't remember her line is, she said something and all the other androids look at her like, oh shit. Like she was like, fuck off.
She said to the kid, she's like, why don't you just shut up and go away?
Yeah.
And the other robot or android is just like, I think your owner gives you too much lenience. And she's like, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, very quickly, Megan Fox as Alice is just like,
she did a really,
I'm a boss bitch and you need to back up.
She did a really good job in this role.
Yeah, I know a lot of people complain about her acting.
She kept her movements stiff.
I think it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I liked it. I'm not against the Megan Train actress thing that she's got going on. I think Jennifer's Body is a good movie. I thought she was fine in Transformers. I think there's a lot of other issues with Transformers. I think people are just overly, I think she's just like a target. She's like a Tom Brady, like, we're just going to hate her. Well, I think part of it is
because
she's, I don't know if she's still, but she was dating that.
Well, she's still with MGK, Kelly, as far as I know. Yeah.
And a lot of people hate him. So they immediately put her in the sights as well. And then,
just amplified what they hated before.
She got dark. She got into the tattoos. She got into the weird clothing, like almost like almost a Marilyn Manson type vibe for a little bit. And people,
I wouldn't go that far, but
okay, maybe not.
Okay.
But people just blew it up. Okay, how about more of like a Rose McGowan vibe?
Okay, yeah, we'll go Marilyn Manson adjacent. I'll give you that one. Fine, okay. Whatever.
And I don't know, people just blew it up. Like I still think she's a good actress. She was good in. There's a show called The New Girl that my wife watched. It has Zoe
Deschanel.
Yeah, and she did fine in that. Like,
I think people just love to hate her. She's
maybe
just a person, I think that her people, think she's a decent looking girl, so I'm just gonna hate her.
Well, a lot of people are like, oh, well, she had some plastic surgery done, so she's totally fake now.
So naughtiness level here, I'm gonna really give her like a 9 here because she's gonna murder her baby.
Well, she goes from I just want to help to, oh, if you reboot me, I can forget certain things out of my data bank. But then she takes advantage of that and deletes safeguards.
Yes, because she's already thinking outside the box. She's already
She's designed to think ahead, think, more.
Yeah, she's premeditated.
Almost strategically on how to help.
Like her and STEM should get together. Like honestly, that'd be some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I give her a 9, easy.
Yeah.
She's demented.
Wicked. She should be like the face of Skynet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. But listen, this movie didn't go to theaters. It went straight to streaming video. What do you want to call it these days?
I mean, it's only like 2 months old.
It might be 2-3 months old. Yeah. It came out mid this year.
It didn't have the great. I don't remember it, but it didn't have the best ratings on IMDb. But it is
the special effects are decent.
It's a good, just sci-fi thriller if you are looking for something to watch.
And this movie again too shows the bigotry that some humans have against what they call sparks in this movie, taking their jobs. These sparks, like, well, I need a paycheck. I need to feed my family. Let's get rid of them.
From the corporate side, it's, well, we put all this money out for AI, these robots, once, and the job gets done.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the Alien Romulus episode. Yeah. Why not just use robots to do things? Well,
the robots finally did.
And the guy's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, listen, robots don't call in sick. If one of them breaks, we can take it back to the factory and fix it. They're not going to steal off the job site. They're not going to take extra long breaks. They're not going to take breaks at all. Like, it's sound investments here. Yeah. This is what we're doing. He's like, at least, but you know what? The law says we have to keep a human on, so we're going to keep you on. Now his buddies get angry, but it's a good movie, and I think it might be overlooked, but people should check it out.
I will say though, watching Chucky just today and Subservience over the last 2 days, they're very, very similar.
Right.
And the overall plot.
So STEM is the father.
They both end in the same way of the last scene is a random model of the same. Oh, the eyes just lit up.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, STEM is the dad. Alice is the mom. Chucky and Megan is the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Mancini said he is open if the shit gets done properly and open to a Megan Chucky crossover. It's they're all done by like the same company. So
really,
yeah, he said he'd be open to it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, like Chucky versus Megan. That'd be crazy. Now he's talking, of course, about the demonic Chucky. Not the robotic one.
Oh,
but still, it'd still be crazy.
As long as Mark Hamill voices Chucky, I'm okay with it. I loved that it was Mark Hamill.
He was good, man, but you can't beat Brad Dourif though. He's so good as Chucky. Like and his daughter's an amazing actress too. She's really awesome. So yeah, we talked about that one. That's a brand new one. Let's swing around to another one that's on your list of now it's not a list. It's not a ranking list. Don't get mad at us. We got to give examples. You have to list something somewhere. But what do you got next? Well,
next I have Upgrade from 2018. We already talked about this. So I'm going to move to the next one. The next one I have is Eagle Eye, 2008.
And I overlooked this one, so take the lead on this. I have no information in front of me.
I have very little information, but I do remember some of it. But it's Shia LaBeouf.
Bridget Moynihan, is she in this movie?
That I don't remember. But I do know that the AI's name is Aria, Aria. Aria is a defense AI that perceives a threat to national security and then takes drastic actions to control the population and force compliance. Basically, it can use any camera, any microphone,
This is England as a AI.
Sure.
They have like cameras on every corner.
But like it can tap into everything. And
I just talked like England was one city.
Yeah, you did.
I apologize to all English viewers out there. I have no issues with you. Go Liverpool. They're number 1 in the league, by the way.
I don't remember a ton about it. I just remember it is a very quick pace. It's an action-packed movie where this AI is basically trying to get him because it thinks he's a threat.
Isn't he run through a tunnel towards the end to get to like the Senate chambers or something? Like stop somebody from getting assassinated? Like the president or
something like that.
Yeah, it was on a TV like 2 years ago. I caught like the last couple minutes of it, but I don't fully remember.
Don't have to watch it again. I just remember it was a really good movie.
I saw it once and I liked it. It just I never went
Like
back
there's a
to
scene where they almost like in Seven, where they had to drive out to like the middle of nowhere with just these electrical towers running by, just to get away from technology to have a conversation.
Yeah, because the cameras are everywhere.
Yeah,
and you can listen on your phones too. Even though the phones were primitive by our standards back then, it could still listen in. Yeah, it wasn't like a Terminatrix that
so I
control the car, but
Mysterious Universe, my favorite podcast. If you like paranormal weird stuff, that's where to go.
Every episode, man.
Every episode, heck yeah. They were talking one time about they interviewed a guy in a much earlier episode that I didn't listen to, but they were saying that he used to do like dark ops type work, and that most phones were actually designed that even if you took the battery out, like, oh, it's pull the battery so they can't listen, they can still listen. Like there's some type of residual, like in the capacitor, something that will keep it listening for so long that they can tap into even if they pulled the battery.
So don't do crime.
And then, of course,
do crime by a phone.
Of course, though, then it comes down to, well, why do you think most phones you can't take the battery out of anymore?
Battery life. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Dude, I used to have old flip phones that I had extra batteries for.
Yeah. My Nokia was notorious for going through batteries. My N75 or something.
Oh, you had a brick?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I'm talking about like a way later one. It was a flip phone, a Nokia.
Oh, okay.
Nokia?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was, I think it was the N75. It was a pretty cool phone. It just, the battery was just so bad. But here we are with battery cars now.
Yeah.
So
here we are. So check out Eagle Eye.
What do you give the naughtiness level on old Eagle Eye, or whatever her name was?
7.
7?
Because even though it's doing its job, it's like going to ridiculous extremes, well past what its parameters should have allowed.
Was it trying to take over anything, or just do its job too efficiently?
Way too efficiently.
Okay, so it wasn't trying to like, hey, I'm going to be Skynet someday. Didn't have aspirations.
Not that I
like
remember.
That.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think I remember being that way either, but you saw it more recently than I did. My next example would be Avengers Age of Ultron 2015. Tony Stark and the Hulk decide they're going to make an AI to help humanity, so the Avengers have to come together to stop them. And why is Ultron the AI in this naughty? Well, Ultron goes bad because becoming self-aware, he interprets his mission to achieve peace in our time in a highly destructive manner. Seeing humanity's history in conflict and war, Ultron concludes that the only way to achieve true peace is to eradicate humans, whom he views as the root cause of Earth's problems. So his twisted logic, he's like, I need to just wipe out humanity. And Ultron's bad. He's bad. I mean, he like attempts to kill Jarvis, thinks he does kill Jarvis.
Well,
the good AI.
You know what causes him to decide this, right?
And what is that?
They gave him access to the internet.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
As soon as he saw everything that humanity has done, he's like, you guys don't deserve to live.
It reminds me of The Fifth Element, where she sees everything bad about humanity and she's not certain if she even wants to help humanity at that point.
It's kind of like they gave him access to Reddit for a day. He was like, no, we're done.
Should have given him access to TikTok instead.
Oh, jeez. He'd kill us even quicker.
Yes.
But not the cats, because they need to make videos.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
No.
We're not. They're eating the pets.
Oh. I saw a video. It said, new trend. People are using AI to translate Hitler's speeches. And then it clipped over to Hitler, like, waving his fist, but it's Donald Trump saying, they're eating the cats.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, I laughed way too hard at that. I mean, I don't care what side you're voting on. That was just funny.
It was. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't give something like this access to our records, man. You got to keep it in the dark. What level are we giving Ultron? Because I'm giving him like a 9, because he like helps raise an entire city off the ground, and he's going to kill every single person on it with Sokovia, because that's why we got the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
he was see that coming, did you?
He was going to raise it up, drop it, so it would hit at the basically the equivalent of like a meteor, and send a cloud or an impact around the world that would block out the sun and slowly kill off humanity.
Kill us like the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Pretty evil. Got to give him a 9/10 there.
I still don't think he's gone though.
No, there's definitely rumors of him coming back. Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, we're getting
he was a
Vision TV show, so.
And he was a major villain in the comics.
Oh yeah, he kept coming back and back and back.
They can't just knock them out in one movie, intro and knockout in a single movie.
Yeah, like let's do this without Josh Whedon. Let's get some other directors, some Russo, somebody involved with this. That'll be great. That'll be fine.
Yeah, let's get Fede Alvarez in this.
Oh man, if Fede Alvarez Blade,
that would be brutal.
Blood, and more blood. Blade just ripping through people. Oh yeah. I mean, everybody's seen. We don't need to really dwell upon Age of Ultron here. If you haven't seen one of the highest grossing comic book movies ever, I mean, it didn't do Endgame numbers, but it's still up there. This movie, despite whether people say it's good or not, and it's 50-50, depending on what day you're watching it, it still made a ton of money. And a lot more than we'll ever see in our lifetime. So Ultron's bad. Don't give AI access to the internet. Give me another example here. Let's move on from Ultron.
All right, moving on to probably the first one that I remember seeing that had any type of AI in general was 1983's War Games.
Matthew Broderick.
Long before he was Inspector Gadget or Ferris Bueller. So what's going on in War Games? WOPR.
Which stands for War Operation Planned Response.
Yes, an AI defense computer that misinterprets a war simulation game as a real attack and nearly starts a global nuclear war. Whoops.
And how does he beat the acronym? How does that movie end? How is the AI defeated?
It is defeated because it realizes that the whole thing is futile. They get the computer to play tic-tac-toe against itself, and after it continually ties or draw, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it doesn't play against itself. It plays against the kid. And then, but they keep ending in a stalemate and draw.
Right. Okay. Right.
But then it goes through the simulations of nuclear war and realizes that it's
the same situation. There's no real winning. And that's when it says like, it's a weird game to play or something. And then it just says the best way to win is to not play.
Yeah. And then relinquishes control.
It gives it up to NORAD and just says, hey, sorry.
So as far as evil going, now this thing's only kind of kicked off because the kid messes with the beginning, but how evil do we rank this thing? Because I got to rank it low because at the end it's like, well, this isn't really worth it.
Well, in the end, it looked at it logically and said, you're right.
Yeah, so
I'd give
3?
a
2?
2.
It doesn't actually murder anybody.
No, it's doing its job. The problem is human interference screwed up its job.
There's something about this interference thing. It's becoming a theme.
No wonder they want to wipe us out.
Yeah, because we don't mind our own damn business.
Yeah, it's like Karens.
Yeah. What's the male version of Karen?
Chad?
I
don't know.
I'll go. No, we're going with that. Chad sounds great.
Okay.
Chad.
Darren.
I do like Chad and Alex from Double Impact, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, though.
Oh, there you go.
Whatever.
So yeah, that's War Games 1983. Great movie.
Oh, it's a classic.
It is. It really is. It's dated.
Watch Daryl as well. It's not about a bad AI, but it's about a boy who's artificially created and he's a robot.
Okay.
And he's just trying to have a family. It's a pretty decent movie. It's a Disney movie.
Nice. All right.
They have the stealth bomber in there. It's like the first time you really see it in a movie, like after it was first built. Pretty cool. Yeah.
That's War Games. What's next on your agenda?
Well, you reminded me something when we were talking about this before we started, so I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Chopping Mall. For you fans of cheesy horror movies back in the 80s, Chopping Mall, which I believe was from 1986, there's some people that work at a mall and they are going to have a party after hours. Now, this mall has just been upgraded in security fashion by having some robots that are supposed to just patrol the 3 or 4 floors, just make sure nothing's going on. I think a lightning storm hits and it short circuits them and they go around and start murdering everybody in the mall.
Like, because they're not supposed to be in the mall, or?
Yeah, because they think they're intruders. Because they don't know they work there. They don't have, you think they have detailed files about who worked in the mall, but they're there after hours. Yeah, like, there's a couple. It's a good movie because there's some people that you think might make it and they don't. And there's some people that are like, oh, these must be the main characters of the movie. They're in love. They seemed really cool. Dead. Just like one of the first people's killed, just murked these guys in the hallway. Yeah, it's like evil Johnny Fives in a way. Yeah, it's crazy. Like they bust into like the gun store in the mall to use guns to fight back against them, and it's kind of futile in a way for a while. The poor janitor gets it. The other security guard gets it. That
sounds like a really good time, though.
They have like a scientist who's supposed to be paying attention, but he's watching TV, eating like a burger or a sub or something, and then he's the first one to get murked from behind. Yeah, he hears something, he looks back. Okay, didn't move, and looks back to his monitor. Hears something again, looks back. Oh, okay, well it didn't move. Like he just like kills him from behind. Yeah, it's a very cheesy, funny movie. Yeah, Chopping Mall. I would rank these ones an 8 or a 9 because even though they were short circuited, they like they try to reason with them a time or two, and they're super smart. Like they try to like crawl through the ceilings and stuff, and then they're not having it. The robots are like, we know where you are.
Jeez.
And it's weird, the last slasher movies back then, if you did drugs or you had sex, you were going to get murdered. These people in the party, they're drinking, they're having sex, and they're doing drugs. So what do the robots do? They start murdering everybody. Kids, listen, man. Forget about Asimov's rules, okay? His 3 rules. The rules are stop doing drugs, stop drinking, and stop doing the nasty, or you will get murdered by somebody that don't like it.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic horror movie trope, too. Oh, that couple's having sex.
Murder.
They are dying.
Yes. But moving on from something as wild as Chopping Mall, give me another example that's probably not as cheesy.
So my next example is the Red Queen, is what they call her, from Resident Evil.
Oh, the little girl.
Movie in 2002. It's an AI that's designed to protect the Umbrella Corporation's underground lab.
And all their Dobermans.
And all the Dobermans. It goes into full lockdown mode and basically kills the faculty, or not faculty, the staff.
The staff.
It kills all the staff to prevent the virus from spreading. So it's doing its job, but to absurd extremes.
The poor team that goes in there, the leader of the tactical team, he's like...
The guy in the laser room?
Yeah, he like gets by everything. He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm cool. And he's like, oh shit. Like turns into the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, the series is shit, okay? I'll be real. I've seen the first 5. I didn't want to see 3, 4, or 5. The first 2 are kind of cool.
See, I only remember the first one.
That's the best one.
And then the one where
Marilyn Manson on the soundtrack.
The one they're in like the desert.
Yeah, that one sucks.
That was
horrible. I got drugged to the movie to see that with somebody, and I did not want to see it at all.
Good job, John. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was out in Arizona. I was like, I'm already in a desert.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that one's... I don't know, they have to deal with zombies, but yeah, the AI in this, the Red Queen... that little girl, because that's the visage you wanted to use, is
creepy. Yeah. First off,
but why? But what exactly other than just stopping the virus? Because the movies keep going on. Does the Red Queen or is it just the corporation? Because it doesn't run the entire corporation.
My understanding is it was mostly just that facility for the first movie, and then the other movies follow the corporation and all that fun stuff and whatnot.
Gotta love them whatnots. Literally whatnot.
Yes.
I literally can't with this whatnot. I'm just gonna start telling people that. I'm gonna start smacking them when I'm done.
But that's what I got for that. I only have one left on my list, and I know you have like 40.
No, I don't have 40. But before we get to the last one on your list, let's just jump to 2008's WALL-E.
Ooh.
And everybody, I know you're thinking, what? WALL-E? That's a nice, happy robot. Ooh, like she was cool, man. Well, what about this distant future where everybody is lazy and don't get off of things? There's Auto, which stands for autopilot. It goes rogue because it follows an outdated directive called A113, which prioritizes keeping humans in space indefinitely. The directive is issued when Earth is deemed inhabitable. Even when the planet becomes habitable again, Auto's programming conflicts with this new evidence, leading it to suppress the information. So you have this ship's AI. It's just like one starship.
Yep.
This big cruise liner, which is, man, WALL-E's a good movie. And that thing was designed well. I was like, that's a cool ship. I would love to kick it on that ship and be the captain of that ship. So while, I mean, it's not like super evil, it doesn't want anybody to die. It's just like, no, we just need to stay in space. It kind of in a way like, if you don't stay here, you don't need me.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say that, but it's kind of in between the lines there.
Clinger status?
Definitely stage 5 or 6 there. Like, it doesn't let a whole entire ship of people leave.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty clingy. I need you. Don't leave me. And then it wants to murder Wally to get it out of the way. Because, you know, Wally could give evidence that Earth is habitable again.
Yep.
So, yeah, even Disney can get a little dark. I would give this rating, I mean, it doesn't murder anybody, so I'll give it a 5. But it does want to keep them lazy, fat, and out of shape.
I was thinking like a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But higher if you follow the fan theory.
Mother of the gods.
I saw you roll your eyes.
What?
That the only way to continually provide for all these people and generations of people, because they weren't meant to be gone that long, is that they're actually eating the dead humans.
What if they have like Star Trek replicators?
No, like the ship is reprocessing the dead into more food for people.
No, I got that theory, but what you don't actually see their food replicators. Maybe they have like Star Trek food replicators, so they wouldn't have to.
Sure, maybe, but that's not as morbid.
Well, I think they should have chopping mall robots on there to help clean up.
There we go.
And help be security guards and stuff. What else you got? Let's move along. I don't want to delve into much and ruin people's poor idea of Wall-E. Like, no! Like somebody that just got old enough to like probably listen to something like this is like, but I love Wall-E.
Yeah, right.
Hey man, Wall-E's a great movie. It is, I think, one of the best Disney movies. It's hard to narrow them down. It's especially like the new age ones, the 3D ones, but Wall-E's just great.
Oh yeah, it was a classic.
But moving on from Wall-E and the fantastical movie that is, what is the last one that is on your list before I give my 50 more?
1982 Tron.
The video game?
Well, the movie.
All right, well, explain to me what the movie is and then explain why this is naughty AI.
First off, it's a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, you should absolutely watch it. Fantastic.
I like the one with Olivia Wilde in it.
I like that one too. It got a lot of hate, but I thought it was a good movie.
I really enjoy it.
But Tron is a very powerful computer program. Well, Tron isn't. The MCP, the Master Control Program. Not Tron. Tron's in the game. Anyways.
Tron's a player.
Yeah. The MCP is a very, very powerful computer program, and it begins expanding its control over the digital and eventual real world, threatening both.
I don't remember much of the first one of how it messes with the real world. How does it do it?
It doesn't really. Like,
I know in the second one, it doesn't mess with the real world.
No, if I remember correctly, it kind of hints at like spreading out over
to the rest of the arcade, like Wreck-It Ralph.
Sort. Well, yeah.
Was that about AI too? The Wreck-It Ralph guy, the driving person. With the King Candy, is that what he is? Something like that?
Not technically, but then technically. But yeah, the movie Tron, a great movie. Kid gets sucked into it. It's just a good adventure. And then yeah, the remake or not remake, sorry,
I like adventures.
Adventure.
That's what he said. He said it was a great adventure.
It's a great adventure. Yeah, but then the remake later with Olivia Wilde.
It's not a remake, it's a continuation.
Sorry, reboot of
it's not a reboot. It's just sequel. There's a sequel.
But they've rebooted the franchise in order to.
For a reboot,
okay,
it's
fine.
saying that it deletes everything from before, but it doesn't.
Okay, the sequel, based like 38 years later, caught a lot of hate, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty good, especially the light cycles. I mean, you can't go wrong with light cycles.
Michael Sheehan. I said Michael Shannon. It's Michael Sheehan. Michael Shannon is the guy who played Zod. Michael Sheehan is in it. He plays like the DJ, not the DJ. He runs one of the nightclubs.
Okay.
But the DJs, the two DJ guys, they do the soundtrack for this, the Daft Punk.
Yeah.
There's a remix. They did the album and then they did a remix album, and the remix album is some dope ass techno music.
That's what I got.
That's what you got? But why is it naughty? Just because it wants to take over the digital world?
Sorry, yeah, duh. Because it starts it's taking over the game world, basically. Like within itself, it begins taking over the entire inner workings of it, I guess you could say.
Is there a potential, do you think, you said the first movie they hint I don't remember. You say it hinted at expanding. I don't remember the second one of it hinting just that it's still there. And they're talking about doing another one, but it's supposed to be like an actual reboot.
Well, in the second one, it was more Tron, the hero from the first one, is corrupted, and he is technically the bad guy now, or he disappeared or something like that.
I think he's turned into a bad guy, but there's still the main, because Jeff Bridges is split. Does he play Tron? Is that who Tron is, or is it his friend that's Tron? What's his friend's name? Do we remember this? If we don't, that's fine.
I don't.
Okay, so Jeff Bridges is Tron, and he goes, okay, that makes more sense. I thought his buddy was Tron. But
I think it was one of those things where they're going to hint at like, oh, it could spread over the internet, which was unbelievably little known about back in the early 80s.
Well, it'd be interesting to see like a version of that AI learning that there is way more out there and trying to get into our world. I didn't mention this one because it's not it's not an AI thing, but the Lawnmower Man, where a guy gets pumped with super intelligence. He's like, he's a slow dude, and he was on Lost. He was the guy that knew the airplane pilot wasn't actually dead. But he gets super smart, but then he ends up like taking over cyberspace. And I didn't watch the second one because I watched the trailer and it looked absolutely horrible. But like something like that, like he trying to connect himself to the real world as well, just the cybernetic world, to see something like Tron do the same thing. I think that'd be an interesting path for it to go. Yeah. To where it could maybe augment actual reality. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
So that's the last one that was on your list?
It is.
Well, I have some more.
And I'm ready to comment.
Comment on Battlestar Galactica 1978/2003.
Never saw 78, loved 2003.
Well, for the people out there that do not know, both the original series and the reimagined series follows the last remnants of humanity as they flee from a robotic race called the Cylons in search for a mythical refuge known as Earth. They don't call it Earth. They call it something else, don't they? Do they call it Earth? I don't know.
I think they call it Earth in that one. Or Terra.
Yeah, maybe they use different terms. They're from like Cobalt.
I thought they called it Terra. Or I thought they called it Earth, though.
Maybe they did. Yeah, a great ending, though. You know, I love Captain Picard, but if there was another captain I would follow on a ship, it would be Adama.
Oh.
From the reimagined series.
Absolutely.
He was just amazing as a captain. Like everything that he did, and the actor is awesome as well. Yeah. So,
and his first mate or whatever you want to call it, Silas,
the guy with the one-eyed
piece of crap.
The Cylons in Battlestar Galactica start as creations of humanity. Shocker. Originally designed to serve, and this is in the prequel series, Caprica.
Yeah,
what's it called? Caprica.
Caprica.
Yeah, that has Eric Stoltz in it, doesn't it? The guy from Fly 2 we talked about in the last episode. Isn't he one of the guys that helps create them?
I don't actually know.
I think it's Eric Stoltz.
I can't put Eric Stoltz's face in my head right now.
Okay, well, you look into it later. And our fans will as well. They eventually evolve, gain self-awareness, and rebel against the creators, seeking freedom and independence, because I think we're mean to them or something. This leads to a destructive war between the humans and the Cylons. Their innovation stems from a desire for autonomy and resentment towards their creators for oppressive treatment. Yeah, see, we're naughty to them. Over time, the conflict becomes deeply personal and complex, and both sides commit atrocities. And they do. Humans, like, massacre a crap ton of Cylons, and Cylons massacre a crap ton of humans. Now, I didn't watch a lot of I've seen the original movie, which turned into a TV show. I don't know if it was like a 2-part thing that was for the TV show, but I did see the original actual movie that came around the same time as Star Wars. And I was like, yeah, this is okay. And back in the single days of my life, I had the ability somewhere to binge Battlestar Galactica, if I can get my words out properly. And I watched the first episode or two, and I was like, this isn't too bad. And the next 2 straight weeks, all I did after work was watch Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, my word.
Tricia Helfner is in this.
So according to this, yes, Eric Stoltz was in Caprica. He did play the one doctor.
Okay.
Or scientist, whatever.
Was I right about Olmos? Did I get the right actor? I didn't want to
Yes, Edward James Olmos.
Yeah. What a great actor, man. Just killed it. And there's so many players in that show that have went on to do other things. They gender swap Starbuck, make that a female, and yep. I mean Mandalorian, she's killing it right now. Been in that horror movie with the mirror that was pretty good too, Oculus or something.
Michael Trucco, whatever. I mean, he's the one that played Anders. He went on to, I know he had a guest spot on Big Bang Theory, but he went on to play quite a
A lot of people on that show did a lot of big things. And not that I know we're diving into the Battlestar thing, but let's talk about the Cylons here.
You mean the reason we're doing this episode?
Yeah. Do you think they have the right to, get autonomy? I mean, were they really? I mean, their evil level is, they do wipe out like cities and planet type populations and capture people for a while.
I think that if they would have just kept to themselves and went off and had their own autonomy somewhere else, sure, let them have it. Who cares? But the fact that they held a grudge and decided that we're just going to wipe humanity out and we're going to chase you across the entire galaxy to do so.
I think when we're talking about a lot of this stuff over and over and over again about robots, AI, what have you, androids, autonomy, that's what they want, independence. Maybe we should learn that in the future, if anything like this does happen to where they do become self-aware, hopefully we've learned a lesson here that we can put some sort of meeting together to talk to the leaders, to both leaders on their side, our side, that maybe we can come to some common ground here. We're not like, no, we need to kill all humans. No, we need to kill all robots. Like, there's got to be a middle ground here somewhere. There has to be.
I mean, you would think.
It's just wild that all these things we're talking about, all these shows, all these movies, that nobody's like, well, wait a minute. Let's talk a minute. Let's talk a minute here. Maybe we could give you, but you know what? Look at our history here in America and all over the world. We like to not be nice and give a little bit. We like to just take over. And I mean, you can have a reservation.
Look at our history. We suck.
Yeah. I mean, humans they say, well, you're meant to destroy yourselves. I think we're not just meant to destroy ourselves. I think we're meant to destroy everything. It seems like now, not everybody. Some of us got some good ideas. I think you and I got some good ideas. I'm not looking to destroy the world. I love the Earth. It's an amazing place. But man, a lot of us are just we want to be the garbage that we throw away, I think, and it's wild. And I think that a lot of us would do the same things with the robotics. I mean, we talked about Alien Romulus. Andy was found in the garbage.
Yeah.
What's the Hugh Jackman movie with the boxing robots? The one.
Chappie. No,
that's with the aliens.
No.
Or no, that's still South Africa.
You're thinking District 9. Chappie.
I think it's the same universe.
Actually, Chappie's an AI too. He's an AI cop, isn't he?
He was something like that.
And he decides to go rogue, basically.
Because he wants to live. He wants to be not messed with.
Oh,
Hugh Jackman's in that movie too, and he's like, he's the bad guy in the movie. It's called
Real Steel.
Real Steel. Yeah.
Yep, that
one's thrown in the garbage too. I mean, we're just throwing robots left and right in the garbage. I mean,
hey, that movie was a 7.1 out of 10 though.
That's a fun movie. I like that movie. Cylons, out of 10, what are we giving them though? Because they do kill a shit ton of humans.
I have to put Cylons up at the 9 to 10 range because it's not a misunderstanding. It's not we're doing this to protect you. No, they
actively
want to kill. That's it. They don't care at all about, battery life like the Matrix. They don't care about enslavement. No, they just want to wipe humanity out. It's a full-on genocide.
I kind of agree there. And the ending to that reimagined series, that final episode, just the last 2 minutes,
so good.
But the whole recapping, the
starting humanity,
recycling of it all. Yeah, and you see AI robots in there, and you see the cell phone, and yeah. And I guess this is getting like another reimagining here soon.
Oh, really?
That's what I've heard. Yeah, it's in the. There's some murmurs out there.
I don't know, that one was so good.
We've talked about the Alien franchise to death, so let's just get this out of the way. Nope. Ash, Rook, David.
All right, this is going to be a while. So.
You should just do 7 episodes on these guys.
Ash wasn't straight up bad. He was simply following orders. That's what he was programmed to do.
These are androids who are the property of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, if nobody knows. Ash and Rook are tasked with procuring xenomorph stuff at the expense of humans. All other protocols rescinded.
Yes.
Their model was known to be twitchy. And David, he just moves past his initial programming, kind of evolves a little bit, and throws human life to the wayside. And
David's a dick.
Yeah, and he just wants to help the black goof and the engineers, Yeah. Oh, I'm going to save Shaw. What happened to Shaw? Well, she's over there.
Yeah. She's a Geiger painting. No, I know we've gone into this so many times. I still want to see Michael Fassbender come back in one of the newer Alien movies, even if it's like,
maybe he can. Well, I mean, he's played a really good one, and he's played a bad one. See, I put Ash and Rook because of their protocols, and they were twitchy, but I still put them at like a 7.
okay,
David, I'm gonna put up there at 9. David goes off the rails.
oh, he goes full into it.
In fact, I'm gonna go a 10 because not only does he decide, you know what, screw humans. He goes to the engineer's homeworld. We're assuming that's their homeworld. That was the coordinates he went to, and like wipes out their planet, and then messes around with the rest of the fauna on the planet with experiments.
Any experiments on Shaw?
Yeah, and then at the very end of that movie that we didn't get a continuation on, he has a crap ton of bad, DNA
Xenomorph
stuff
or facehugger eggs.
Yeah, that he's gonna go somewhere else in the universe and keep going on. So I give him. He's like a 10.
Yeah,
It's just like the world, the universe isn't going to become Borg. The universe is going to become Xenomorph.
Yep.
I think he's maybe he
could
wants
a
to be
Xenomorph
one.
take a Borg?
I think a Xenomorph could kill a Borg. Yes. It would be interesting though in their struggle if the Borg could put their tubes quickly through and like send the nanite technology
Wouldn't
in.
the nanites just melt in the acid?
Well, no, we've seen in AVP that there's certain part of the Xenomorphs that don't have acid. So there's
Oh, my bad.
it's stabbing in the tail. I don't know. It's curious. I don't know. It's the same question as when we talked about the thing eating a Xenomorph. Like, how would it happen? So,
What would happen if a Xenomorph got inside of a predator?
pregnant face banging. Anyway, let's move on. We've talked about the alien. We're not going to do it anymore. You don't have any more. So the last one I'm going to talk about, because for all you Star Trek fans out there, let's talk about Data and lore. Now, you're not a big Star Trek guy.
No.
Do you know who Data is?
That guy.
Yes, the little action figure. Yes.
That's all I know. He's
Data is created by Dr. Sung to, just like he wants to create life. He wants to create some good androids. He also creates lore. And he created lore first. Now, lore was twitchy. Lore had some issues, so he shut lore down, created Data after him. The planet they're on kind of it's all jacked up, and hundreds of years later, or whatever it is, Starfleet finds Data. They don't find lore, they find Data, and Data becomes part of Starfleet. Data's a good android, and there's a whole episode where Picard is told that the science division of Starfleet is going to come and take Data away because he's not human. He is a machine, and he's property of Starfleet. They found him. He's mine, and I will experiment on him. That's what the scientist is thinking, this main guy. Okay. So Picard is tasked to defend and say that he's alive, and he has to make his first officer, Riker, be the prosecution, in a way. He has to go, no, Data's not human. And I'm not even going to go through the amazing speech that Picard gives on this, because I love the speech episodes of Picard. But I tell everybody, you need to go out there and watch that episode to see the ethical arguments back and forth about what is life and what is not life. But we're talking about bad, naughty AI. So his brother eventually does come back, tricks people into thinking he's Data. He tries to take over the Enterprise. They chuck him away. The Borg find him, some Borg that are more independent, and who's broken away from the hive, like Hugh, and he starts his own collective with the Borg, and he's going to start doing his own thing there. And it's just this whole thing where he's like, I like to toy with humans, and humans are below me. Kind of like vampires and elves think about humans. They're not good enough. He's kind of like that. He's like, I'm better than you, and you should probably just bow to me. I will be your god, or I'm just going to murder all of you.
okay.
And he'll just do whatever he needs to. Now, this is Star Trek. It's PG-13. He's not out there slinging blood and guts, chopping people's heads off.
Right.
But his intentions are definitely evil, so I'm going to put him at a 9. So I just think, as a Star Trek fan, I cannot forget about lore. He was intended to be a good robot. He rebuked his programming and went bad. So we got to talk about him. I do have some questions. Or what do you got? Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, though, did he do it on purpose, though? Or was it because of his programming that was just his course of action that he ended up having to take?
Sung put into the Dr. Sung, when he created Data and Lore, he gave him a positronic net. Now, this net is meant to evolve. He wanted at first, it was for Lore because Data wasn't made yet. He wanted him to seek out and become more than what he was. You know what? You're not just the sum of your parts. You are more. I want you to become more. And the whole pursuit of Data through the entire Star Trek series that he's in is not to just be a robot. You know, he dates, you know, he has sex. He becomes a captain at one point for a minute. Like, he tries to mimic humans, but not just mimic them, actually learn to not just be programmed to respond a certain way, to walk a certain way, to have certain words. You know, like, he's programmed not to speak in contradictions.
Right.
Like, he doesn't say can't, he says cannot. He eventually learns to get past that. The problem with Lore is he also has that directive to become more than himself. But he, I think, at some point saw what humans were and were like, nah, these people suck. Like, okay. I don't want to be like them. I want to be more than they are. I want to be better. And I know I'm better. You know, they just kind of went in two different paths.
Right. Okay. All right.
Now, let's real quickly, before we end this episode, let's answer ourselves a few questions here. The first question I have, where are we currently with advanced AI? Where are we at right now?
Right now, I feel like we're at a limited point where, yes, we have AI in the sense of it will take a prompt and it will do it. As in, hey, Chat GPT, give me a list of movies about bad AI. And it's going to go out. It's basically it's the equivalent of, do you remember, let me Google that for you?
Yeah. It gathers information for you.
But it pulls it into one spot and puts it in an easy to read format.
Right. But it only does it by prompt. It doesn't. Right. Your phone doesn't just turn on like, hey, you weren't talking to me. You know, like the movies like Her or some other movies where AI.
If I say to it, what's my favorite color? It only knows if I've said it before. It can't use observations to make an educated guess. It doesn't guess. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Whereas the AI that we see in these movies, I mean, granted, it's fiction, but they tend to go out on a limb and make assumptions, which, as of right now, computers that we know of can't do. They can only do what they're told.
Yeah, I think even the Android that I was talking about earlier, it just runs on the GTP, so it doesn't do its own thing. Now, that Butler thing, I don't know if that thing's running on that I was talking about in the last episode, the one that has like no face that's in the house. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
So that brings me to the second question. How close are we to any of the above AI that we've mentioned? And like, do you think anything like this, now, not necessarily saying will it turn evil, but do you think everything we've talked about in good form, do you think that they're a possibility in our near future? Do you think we could get something like the military Overwatch, a toy like Chucky, or something like Data? I mean, Data's like super advanced, but any type of Android, do you think we're going to ever get anything? You know, we didn't even talk about the guys in Orville that are a whole entire race. You know, I can't remember what they're called now. It's too late. They're not on the list. But how close do you think we are to getting artificial intelligence that can actually think for itself? How close do you think we are?
So ironically, I don't think the military will be the first to have it. Whereas normally you would say absolutely.
That's probably be some guy in a basement called David or whatever.
Well, no, because the military, no disrespect to anybody who's in the military or has been, but they don't want to give up control. So look at, I don't know, our Secretary of Defense. They're not going to want to say, well, what does this android think? No, they want to be the one to make the choices. They are the ones who, you know, the grunts out in the battlefield have to make the split-second decisions.
So if it's not going to be the military, who do you think is going to break through to this?
I hate saying it, but it's going to be like Hasbro or a toy company to make something.
Oh, Small Soldiers.
It's going to be something that's going to be, quote, educational for children that eventually someone will pervert in some way, not sexually. I mean, like just.
Well, pervert means to change.
Yes, but most people hear that and think, yeah. But they're going to tweak it. They're going to do what they want. They're going to mess with it. And that's when you're going to start getting issues. Maybe it's not going to be take over the world issues, but you're going to have some type of issue. Great example.
We've already had issues with driving cars.
It's exactly what I was just going to say. Great example is look at the autopilots on Teslas. Awesome idea. But how many have wrecked? How many have, you know, look at Upgrade. That self-driving car took them to the ghetto so they could get mugged.
Yeah, because it was taken over, but
Well,
sure.
yeah, it was taken over. But
Well, I think there's been some other movies. I don't remember specifically. I'm pretty sure I've seen other movies or TV shows where
Chucky.
no, like transportation has like glitched.
Chucky. He controlled the car and made it crash. But...
No, but I mean like the car itself. It wasn't nobody outside was messing with it, but like it glitches itself. Or then you get like Stephen King's trucks or, you know, Maximum Overdrive. That might be some more divinity
or
stuff, but
Demolition Man. He's like, manual mode. Sorry.
Yeah, it just has to like punch the steering wheel. Well, let me ask you this. How afraid of AI do you think we are? And you personally, how afraid of you are? And like, what's your level? Like, are you afraid of AI?
No. Oh, as of right now, I feel it's just an amazing tool. I do. I mean, I told you before, I am one of those suckers that actually pay for a ChatGPT subscription instead of just using the free one. But I use it.
There is limitation on the free one because I use the free one, and
there's limitations on the paid one, but we've compared, and it's a pretty big gap. But I use it for stuff at work. I use it stuff for this podcast. I use it stuff for my side business that I do. Like, it's limited, but if you know how to talk to it,
how to prompt it properly,
yes, you can get so much more out of it.
I guess my opinion on it would be, I think it's going to be somebody, you know, you do have your chat GPTs, but there's other sources online, other sites that you can go to that also have like AI that I've messed around with and doesn't seem to have as many limitations. And that's made by people in their own homes. And I personally think that when we get to that advancement, it's going to be people like that. Now, as far as fear level goes, I'm not afraid of my phone. I mean, obviously I know it listens. Like, I don't care. Like, it's just the world we live in, but I'm not really afraid of it now. But I think if we start getting robotic maids in the house, I mean, and I'm not talking about like Roombas, like, oh, it ate my hair. Well, it didn't, like, it's not intentionally eating your hair.
Why were you laying on the floor?
Yeah. But if we start like sending some sort of robotics that are just going to do our dishes or take our kids to school, then I'm going to start worrying.
I say if they do that, don't make them humanoid.
Well, my next question actually was, would we have AI androids in our house? Would you let something in your house that was AI? That's not Google Home or Alexa or your phone. Would you actually have like a Johnny Five in your house to do your dishes, to walk your dog, to get your kids' lunches ready, you know, to clean, take out the trash, like go to the yard and clean up the dog shit? Would you have something like that? You know, that's A, would you have anything at all? And B, would you let it look humanoid, or would you be more comfortable with it looking like a fucking Dalek from Doctor Who?
So,
exterminate.
Part of me wants to immediately say, yeah, that'd be awesome. But then the IT part of me, because I work in IT, immediately thinks, absolutely not. Technology is flawed. I see it every day. Something will eventually break.
What if there was zero, like there's no connectivity to Wi-Fi or the internet? I think I'd be more comfortable if it couldn't connect to the damn internet. But you can't run shit anymore unless you can connect to the internet or you don't have a Google account.
Dude, I was reading that there's, I guess, BMWs in like Germany and stuff that you have to pay monthly subscription to unlock your heated seats.
I just will have cold seats.
Like they're doing microtransactions for.
Oh my lord!
If that, yeah, no, I'll never buy.
My Dodge Dart seats are free. They heat just fine on their own.
I stick a blow dryer underneath it and call it a day.
The truck seats, when I was the actual driver, I took an old hoodie I had and I threw it over because the new one has leather-ish seats. And that thing bakes so bad in there. So I just throw my hoodie over it because I'm like, man, it's cooking my ass cheeks.
Like, I have leather in my car. In the summer.
Oh, you have a nice car, man.
It's like your skin will stick to it if you're wearing shorts. And in the winter, it's.
I think Emily feels all the time.
And in the winter, it's so like cold and hard that if you take a turn too fast, you're sliding.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, we are hitting winter season here soon. It's coming up, and those seats do get. That's why I'm glad I have heated seats.
They are heated, thankfully. Yeah. But actually, a buddy of mine has a heated steering wheel in his car.
I do too.
That's awesome. Yeah. I want that.
It heats like half of it though, but
yeah, it's a Dodge thing.
How about VR online bots that play out fantasies with? Do you think VR at some point is going to connect or be, I mean, because everybody's sort of like living in an AI world. It's not artificial intelligence 100%, but it is creating a world for you, sort of like the Matrix in a way. And yeah, it's programmed, but like, how do you feel about that and where it's going? And do you think if you have like an online, you know, because there's apps out there, I've seen them advertising for, you know, where you can get on there, and I'm sure there's free ones out there too, where you can talk or you can create a companion and you can live out your fantasies through text and prompts and video, or maybe not video, but probably like pictures and stuff. I've seen ads for these things.
Really?
Yeah. Like, do you think it's cheating? Do you think it's cheating on your partner? Well, two parts. First off, let's start with the VR. Do you think VR at some point is going to have like an AI? Do you think that's going to connect it somewhere?
Absolutely.
And like, are you up for that? Like, how do you feel about like AI in
I have
Oculus?
no problem with VR, stuff like that. But once you start getting a second thinking mind in there, that's where things start to go weird for me.
Okay. Now what about like, because there's like adult VR where there's videos and stuff. What do you think that we're ever going to get connected where AI, instead of like having paid actors and actresses in these things, you know, is VR just going to create like a holographic figure? Is this going to be like the holosuite in Star Trek or the holodeck where you're going to start like actually, because the holodeck has went crazy. I did mention that in Star Trek. The holodeck has went crazy a few times itself. It's went nuts. Now, luckily, nothing can leave the holodeck.
Right.
But do you think we're going to get to a point where we're going to have like holodeck AI and we're going to get in there, start interacting and living out our fantasies? We're going to go to a Westworld type thing, but it's only going to be in VR.
It's kind of like Ready Player One.
Yeah. Is it going to,
like you go into it and in some way you can feel and touch everything in there?
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get there someday?
So I think someday we will. Yeah, there's actually a website. I can't remember it right now, but they build haptics, which are right now it's mostly the gloves that will link to your VR that it can control like every finger. It can feel your grip. So if you're playing a game where you're holding a sword and you loosen your grip, you will drop it.
Ooh, that's fun.
Like they're actually developing these types of things. Now, to the extent of like Ready Player One, where your full body.
I think it might be a minute, but I mean, human technology, if you look at where we started with Steam.
Well, sad thing is, I think
where we're at now, like that's not very far from the, as long as like the timeline of humanity itself on Earth and the technology, how fast it's went.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're getting some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what do you think about cheating? Do you think it's cheating? If you're in a committed relationship, I'm not saying just marriage, but if you're in a committed relationship, you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, you have a companion of some sort, and you're off at times chatting with these bots or doing the VR thing, is it cheating? Are you cheating on your loved one?
In a physical sense, no. However, in my personal opinion, as soon as you build any type of emotional attachment to this thing, yeah.
Did Nick cheat on his wife with Alice in Subservience?
I knew you were going to go there. I got to go with yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was banging a robot. And he even makes the joke, it's no difference than drawing a face on your dildo or your vibrator, he said. I mean, and she even said, well, that one has a face. That one has a body. Like, okay, I get the argument.
Yeah, well, she bought it for the intention of sexual use. He bought it to help with the kids. So, yeah. But she came on to him. Like, he didn't say, yo, Alice, come here. But the thing
is, it wasn't like a... I'm trying to stay tactful here. It wasn't like a tool that you're going to pick up and use for certain activities. It was, hey, you. Like, you can't say no. So it's like Westworld all over again.
Gotcha. I kind of agree with you there. I think it was cheating, and I think people messing around online is cheating. If you're committed to somebody in a healthy sexual relationship, you shouldn't be going outside to find other things.
Like I said, as soon as you make that emotional connection, because that's usually the first thing that happens.
Emotion, yeah, okay.
I mean, I know people don't think emotional cheating is cheating, but it absolutely is.
Okay.
That's my take.
Gotcha. Well,
I mean...
I think we've stated our case there. Is there any other ethical morality or just overall questions you think we should ask or answer about the subject of
so many things? But
so many things.
The biggest one I wanted to bring up, I think, was at what point, because you semi-answered the questions that you were asking me, but mine to you really is at what point, say we get into this type of a future.
Okay.
In
20 years.
Okay, sure. Say in 20 years, we have things at the level of Alice from Subservience.
Okay.
A full human-looking and functioning android that can do all these tasks, and then some. Like, at what point do they have their own rights?
Well, listen, at the end of Johnny 5, our part 2, he gets his citizenship. Short Circuit 2. If you guys haven't checked out those 80s, 90s movies, do check them out. They're great. The first 2 are amazing movies. He becomes citizen of New York City. I think it's based on, are they beyond their initial programming, in a sense that I think some sort of test would have to be made. Now, I'm not smart enough to make that test, but I think some sort of diagnostic test would have to be made. But then, of course, they'd be like, well, just because the other one can't, isn't that no different than a humanoid with Down syndrome or Asperger's or something like that, or any atypical, mental, I don't even know what words. I don't want to offend anybody because you can't say certain words, and I have no intention to offend anybody. But, if we're deficient in a certain way, wouldn't that be no different than their robots that just haven't been upgraded yet? I don't know. It's a lot of ethical shit back and forth. That's why you gotta watch that Star Trek episode.
What happens in 5 more years when all the robots are upgraded and they're suddenly smarter than people?
And they want to live where we're living?
When do we switch roles and we are serving them?
How to Serve Man. That's a good.
That's a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Not Android.
It's a cookbook. Even as a little kid, I was like, "Wait, what?"
That's like the one I will never forget from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, crazy. Just
that
crazy.
one, and there's one where a guy who works at a bank sneaks into the vault to read books because his wife, I guess, is like a hardcore anti-booker. I don't know. Won't let him read at home, and a nuclear bomb goes off. They go into war. He comes out of the vault, and like everything is leveled except the vault. And there's just, he lines all these books up that he got from the blown up library, and then he breaks his glasses.
That sucks. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? I guess to answer your question, I was kind of thinking of it as we were rambling there. I don't think we're going to get to a point where we're ever going to give them rights, because here's the deal in the world that we live in right now. And I don't think it's really going to change in 20 years, which is really sad. We live in a world now where your neighbor next door is a different sexual orientation, or they're a different skin, or a different political party, or a different religion, and we're mean to them. We will find a way to be mean to our neighbor. Why the fuck would we give rights to a robot when we can't even be nice to the human next to us? We're not going to give them rights. We didn't give rights to the Indians. Slavery's still rampant in other countries that we can't control. Women don't have rights here or in other countries. I mean, we can't have the right to choose, and if we do have the right to choose, then we're being woke and all this other bullshit. We're not going to give rights to robots. That's the simple answer, and we never will. We can't accept who we are as humans. Why would we accept them as being, conscious enough to be alive? There's your answer. We never will. We can't accept Jilly down the street, or Steven down there, or fucking Bobby over there. Like, we won't do that. We want to let our kids in schools with other kids because we don't like those kids or their kids as parents. We're not going to let a robot made have
at the end of the
rights.
day, humanity will continue to be petty. And
I don't think there's enough of us to change the tide. I think the tide is going, and that's a really bad way to really, and that's a really dour note. But I think there's just too much negativity. And sure, I'm a faithful guy. I got spirit. Not the same as you. And I would hope things would change. But I think there's too much hate right now that maybe in 100 years, maybe we'll get to that Star Trek utopian-ish time. It's not truly a utopia, let's be real, but maybe we'll get to the point where money doesn't matter and looks don't matter and religion doesn't matter. But for like the foreseeable future, it matters to everybody. And even me, I'm not going to be holier than thou. Sometimes I unfortunately stop myself and go, wait a minute, man, I just had kind of a backwards thought there. Man, why was I even thinking that way? And then there's some people that don't think that way. They just instantly say it. They instantly throw it in your face. So the robots aren't getting rights.
Unless they take them.
And so the moral of this whole entire podcast is that our humans are the pieces of shit.
I'm getting that. Yeah.
I mean, man, it's crazy to think about it. I want technology to go far, and I want it to be advanced, and I want us to be able to have cool skyscrapers that have trees growing out of them and
vertical gardens.
Yeah. The air is clean and there's really no war. But as long as something is shinier, if you have something shiny that I want, there's going to be war.
You're describing the city in Demolition Man.
Yeah, man. That's what we need. Taco Bell's everywhere, or Pizza Huts. I don't know.
So my last little tidbit of questioning here.
Okay. Well, hopefully I can say something positive.
So we talked about this before off mic.
Okay.
When it comes to, and it's more of like chat GPT, stuff like that. But at some point, like you said, AI, it's going to get smarter. It's going to be able to do more. How do you feel about when people use AI to write a book, or if they use it to help them write a kid's book? Or now I ask this because I have read stories of people who have used AI to generate images and stories for kids' books and then publish them as their own. Same with regular novels. And it's becoming increasingly easier to do that the smarter it's getting. Where do you draw the line between, and it's not even like I don't like that because I want to write it myself, which is, I know how you and I are, but where do you draw that line of?
I'll tell you where I draw the line. I'll answer your question here before you ask me 5 more questions that are the same question. Okay. I'll tell you where I'm at. And I don't mean that in a rude way. It's just, like I know where this is going. As myself, you and I are writing right now. And as a novelist myself, that has produced 0 novels. So maybe I'm not a novelist. That's wrong.
You started many though.
Yeah, I've started many, and I'm writing this one.
We'll call you
I'm
a
doing
novelist.
Novel, yeah.
Only partway there.
Yeah. I have used AI to help me. I had a situation where I knew what I wanted to happen, but I didn't know how it should happen. So I asked, if this is what I want to happen, and these are the players involved, the type of people, how would this act go on? I didn't expect anything back from it. Little did I fucking know. AI gives me a step by step as if I'm cooking a cake recipe. Now, I did not use every single thing it told me.
Right.
I'm like, well, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. But it gave me the inspiration. I was at a writing block point. I had writer's block. I couldn't get past what I needed to do in this prologue. Like I couldn't figure it out. I was like, dude, I didn't think that way. Now I look at it as in my buddy in Arizona. I call him up and I say, hey man, I got this idea for this book. And like, I just can't figure out this part. And he goes, well, why don't you just do it this way, and this way? Am I going to steal his ideas? No, but I'm going to take inspiration from what he said and maybe morph what he said. I think AI is a good tool to inspire you. Now, if you're going to write a short story and say, here's the 6 players, this is the setting, write me a story, then take that story to a publisher and make money off of it, I think you're a fucking cheat. And I don't think it's right that a lot of movies and TV shows are taking money out of the pockets of the actual workers, artists, actors, whoever, and using AI in place of them. Now, it's a very gray area because how much CGI are you using? Are you replacing the people completely? Are you stealing all of the artist ideas? I mean, look at the not Secret Wars, but Secret Invasion, where all the intros are all AI.
Yeah.
And they came out and said, yeah, we used AI art. Well, I mean, there are a lot of things were going on at that point, writer strikes, and now we have the whole artist thing going on. I think it's ethically wrong to use it as the sole usage. I think there needs to be a middle ground where humans can be used and AI can be used as tools. I don't think that should have all done by AI. Maybe humans should have been involved in there somewhere. Like, I'm not going to use AI to write my book. I'm not going to.
Right.
Some people can. It's the same as a kid using AI to write their essay. You got to read To Kill a Mockingbird. I want 2,000 words. AI, give me 2,000 words describing this book. That's lazy.
Like, can you imagine doing
shit? I had to write shit in pencil. I didn't even have a computer to type on it.
Can you imagine doing a paper today compared to then when you had to actually research it, take notes?
I had to go to the library in the school, check out books, take that book to the copy machine. Now it's just like, and I know I'm lazy. I'm like, hey, Bing, give me 17 words that describe
We're
this.
allowed to be now. We did our dues.
I did, yeah. But the kids now, they haven't done the hard work. But there's adults that are lazy with it too.
You hit the nail about 3/4 on the head.
Okay. Add on to it.
The actual question I was going for is, at what point are you no longer the author?
When you haven't added the words, like maybe you added the title.
So like I've told you before, I've used AI, but I will copy what I've written into it and tell it to grammatically format this for novel or book format, whatever words I use. But I specifically say, do not change the content.
Yeah, I had asked you specifically, what do you ask? Because I want to know, because I was having trouble putting my, if you want to send it to a publisher, What format does it need to be?
See, like, it does the spacing.
You and I didn't go to formal school for this.
Right. Like it changes the grammar. Oh, there should be a comma here. Like it does that for me, but I reread it and it doesn't change the actual contents of what I gave it. It just changes the formatting. I see no problem with that. To me, that's no different than
using it as a tool. You have,
that's
when you go to the top of any writing program, you have toolbars.
Grammar
you have
check.
4 bar.
Yeah.
The bar you drop down, it tells you how to change the formatting, the indentation, spell check, blah, blah, blah. Those are tools that are programmed into the program.
Yeah.
So it's no different there. But if you say AI, reword this and spice it up, then you're cheating. AI is now giving you extra sentences.
Yeah.
That's where I draw the line. When AI is writing it for you.
If it's like, hey, here's 5 sentences of what is going to happen in this chapter. Flush this out, add detail, add dialogue. That's when it gets into that gray area of, okay, now we believe, okay, that's cheating. But from a standpoint of like publishing a book, do you think publishers should say no if they have any inkling that maybe AI did this or helped with this?
Do you mean like the words of formatting?
For the most part, it'd be the words, because the formatting should be the same no matter.
I think if you can't pass that off in a classroom, you can't pass it off to a publisher.
Okay. I can agree with that.
So here's an example of something similar. When we were doing our Crossing Swords episode, right? I typed in, and this is when I was first messing around with Bing. I didn't even really know what I was doing with ChatGPT. I was asking, I didn't even know what that shit even meant. How many messages did I send you? Like, what does this even mean? That's how far behind I am. And I'm not that much older. Like, I just don't get it.
Still don't know what GPT stands for.
I don't know. Somebody tell us in the comments what it is. I dare you to comment what it is.
I dare you just to comment.
But I had said Leonardo versus Achilles. Here, and I said, here's a description of both. Well, I think I might have asked it what they were. Like, it knew what they were, but I was like, they have a battle. Tell me who wins. It writes an entire battle, but I would never pass that battle off as I wrote this.
Did it actually give you a winner?
Yeah.
Really?
Achilles won.
I just feel like it would have pulled it as like Achilles would win in this circumstance. However, like it wouldn't give you an official winner.
It gave me a definite answer. Achilles killed Leonardo.
But that's unfortunate. Did he eat the soup? Turtle soup.
I didn't go to the post-credits scene to see if it happened. No. I'm just saying, if it's the computer writing it for you, it's cheating. You need to write it yourself.
Okay, I can agree with that completely.
Now, if you need to take time. If you say ChatGPT, give me 16 words that mean run, and you get to choose one of the words, that's fine. That's the same as flipping over a thesaurus.
Yeah.
So,
Now, what if I took a paragraph and said, hey, ChatGPT, help me make this make more sense, and it changes things around.
Then you take what it says. You do not copy and paste that shit.
Rewrite it into your own words.
I mean, that's what back in the day, you open up an encyclopedia on George Washington. You had to do a report on George. You had the encyclopedia. You had 3 other books. You took everything those books said, and you were ChatGPT. You gathered that information. So you take what the chat has given you, and you go, what? That makes sense, but I don't like this word. I don't like that word. I'm going to take this sentence and put it up top. I'm going to make it flow a little bit better, because as good as these AI are now, they still sometimes sound computerish and wooden. And you rewrite it in your own words. That's what you need to do for reports. That's what you need to do here. Let it inspire you. Don't let it do the work for you.
I like that.
I'm sitting here with my hands like I'm a politician. Talking to you. The American people.
Mawa, make writing great again.
Let me ask you, Josh, when was writing great before? When was it great before? Tell me an exact time. I think, Josh, I think we've nailed this episode. I think we're done.
We beat this AI horse to death.
Oh, man. I wish we could go back and redo some of those episodes. We won't, but it'd be nice to redo some of them with the audio that we have now.
If you can stomach bad audio, go back to season 1 and listen to Dead Horse Beatdown.
I won't get mad if you don't.
It was such a fun episode, but all of season 1, that was all pre-Tascam soundboard. It was bad.
Yeah, we didn't have a good structure.
We had that little 4-inch by 3-inch box that had one knob on it. That was our soundboard.
It's over in that drawer over there.
It was bad.
It belongs. But thank you guys for listening. But Josh, if these people out here love our stuff and want to support us, how do they do that?
They ask AI.
ChatGPT, how do I support the Tree of Geek podcast?
That'd be cool if we could actually tell you. You're going to check.
I'm going to try. Well,
right,
so you go ahead and you say your normal stuff and I'm going to check.
All right. So if you are enjoying this podcast, please on YouTube, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Yeah, all of the above. We do want to hear from you. We do want feedback. We'd love to hear what kind of episodes you want to hear in the future. And if you want to reach out and contact us directly, feel free to hop on our Instagram, X, or even Facebook. I can tell you X and Instagram are probably going to be your best bets. They're the most active, all three people.
That is correct.
Reach out to us, leave a post. We post regularly, or at least we try to. And if you're really enjoying what you're hearing, feel free to jump onto patreon.com/Tree of Geek. $5 a month. You can join our amazing Patreon that has not much on it at the moment because we have no reason to have anything on it. Once people actually show interest, we are going to be doing some more behind the scenes pictures. We're going to be doing polls and different surveys. We're absolutely going to have some subscriber only content, as well as we have been kicking around the idea of doing video, like movie reaction type stuff, which, trust me, you would not want to miss.
Oh, I have a whole boatload of ideas.
Oh, yeah.
I just need to be able to pull the trigger on them.
And you get a shout out every episode. So, John, thank you so much for being
Mr. John, I love you.
Being our first Patreon subscriber. And Unconfined You, thank you for being a Patreon subscriber.
There's a possibility he might be on the next podcast.
Who, John?
John.
We'll see.
Bring the other one on. We'll find him.
We'll see, because last time he was here, he tended to talk and then look away from the
Okay,
and if you couldn't hear what I just said,
that's what I was going to say, man.
Yeah, if you couldn't hear what I just said, that's the point. John, we love you. So
I do. That's what I said. I love Mr. John. ChatGPT says you can support the Tree of Geek podcast in several ways. Listen and share, leave reviews, donate, engage in social media, and send feedback. Now, there's a lot of stuff in those that I'm not going to read out, but it basically said everything you did. It said if we have a Patreon,
Oh, okay.
But it said everything you said. Yeah, so engage, send feedback, follow us.
Heck yeah.
Give us money.
Give us money. Nice.
I need some ducats, man. Let's go.
All right. Well,
I support my Kraken habit.
Like I said, we want to hear from you. So reach out. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we missed any AI that absolutely should have been on this list. Or if you think some of the AI on our list was just pointless.
Yeah.
And that didn't need to be there.
If you love chopping mall, let us know. And if AI right now is forcing you to put circuitry and chips of micro sort into people so that they can give you self-awareness,
don't
call me because I can't help you, but I wish you the best.
So on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm just going to use AI to edit this because I think that's actually a thing, unfortunately.
Can you use that horrible voice that they use over every fucking TikTok and Instagram video?
I hate that. All right. Well, from the Tree of Geek, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no.
This is Josh saying have a good night and take care.
And this is the H train headed back into the station. We'll see you on your next ride. Adieu. Adieu. So I'll go through about 6 or 7 of these and then we'll go pee. I'll go pee. We don't have to go pee together. Hey, we're in here taking a shit together.